Dude, this is updated.
Mm-hmm.
Great job.
All right. Well, you are. It's interesting. So you are basically floating head. We're good, and you're like a floating head because you're wearing black and everything. So yeah, we can see your knee and your head.
I already know what the episode's called.
That's it.
Floating heads.
Floating heads. All righty then. Let's share this so folks know. Oh, we already got someone in there. Let's. All right. What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday night.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Cheers to everybody.
I got my Christmas gift.
Yeah. All I want for Christmas is a new.
Look
All
at
right.
you.
Look
He's
at
got
you.
the cup going.
Oh,
see.
look at
He's got
you.
the cuppy
All I
going.
want
That's a
for Christmas
badass
is a
gift.
new.
All right.
This thing's driving me fucking nuts.
What? Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, I keep hitting it.
OCD.
Jesus Christ! All right,
Let's go.
let's go ahead and do this. One of the good things about cars that you get at basically any of the Ed Morse dealerships is the fact that they are all very safe vehicles. They have airbags, all that stuff, anti-lock braking systems, so that when you want to drive yourself off of a cliff because you've been watching the Canes all season, the car will prevent you from doing that.
Absolutely.
It will stop you from doing that. It will not take you. You'll regret this. Exactly. It'll stop you. Oh my goodness. So that's why you need to go to Ed Morse. All the dealerships all over South Florida. You guys, you know.
Yep. Beautiful.
Best
Beautiful.
car ever.
Yup
Best-
and beautiful. That's what I got. Yup and beautiful.
Best car
Wow.
ever. Even the second one.
Even the
I've
second
had two of
one.
the best cars in my life. The last 6 months.
Oh, God. Ed Morse, man, they have been doing it down here for a long, long time, over 70 years in the biz. Dealer of the year. Over 1.2 million customers in South Florida. Can't be wrong. They've also got that price protection promise, so you will always be taken care of if by some weird situation you were to find the car cheaper after you bought it somewhere else. If you want more info, check out edmorse.com.
My Ed Morse drives 185.
I'll tell you what, we all love Brett at Caneswear. And I think that this is one of those times when we need to put aside what happened over the last 6 months and not hold it against Brett by not wanting to buy more Canes gear.
I listen, this is a Canes Gear shirt that I have on.
Canes
And a
gear.
Yeah,
That's a Canes Gear cup.
Every day.
You have a Canes Gear hat.
we cannot.
So we represent.
Yes.
Absolutely. And they have an end of Christmas, like holiday sale going on right now.
before the New Year's.
So enjoy.
We cannot allow the season to trickle down to the local business owners that are all about the Canes.
Correct.
So the Cane fan base still has to support them regardless, still buying your stuff, and just pray to God they fix everything else.
They need to.
We love Brett and Caneswear. I have a feeling that I'll be out there at some point in the
Pretty
near
soon.
future.
Pretty soon. Because that
well,
record
saying
continues to
hi
go down the
because,
drain.
Yeah, I continue to not pick any of the bowl. Well, I mean, just it was a joke at this point. But for
You
more
picked the
information,
Canes game, right?
I did. I got that one right. Unfortunately, both of you did as well. Caneswear.com. That's where all the OBB stuff is. Shops of Arrowhead, South University Drive in Davie. It is Caneswear.
Broadcasting live on tape from our custom-built studios in a closet. These are the Orange Bowl Boys. Brought to you by Ed Morse. Join the 1.2 million people that have been backed by Morse. With the price protection promise, Ed Morse will match any competitor's price or refund you $500.
Well, hang on. We don't have to. We can do that again.
We can.
Yeah, if you want to just tell me that before.
Well, I didn't think about it.
Well, I didn't. All right,
It's a good idea.
I
Yeah.
think it's. I think I got it. Hang on, it's right here somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Drop it on one of those little buttons, would you?
Oh, Jesus.
Already got that was like a record, though, for how quick we were going to name the show.
I know, right? Yeah, absolutely.
The Floating Head.
What the hell? Yeah.
You're already writing it down.
Yeah, because I'll forget it.
Oh, are you kidding me?
You know it's in there.
Oh no, I know it's in there, but I am drunk and not sober.
I know.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, there it is. Let's put that right over there. Nice. All right.
Broadcasting live on tape from our custom-built studios in a closet. These are the Orange Bowl Boys. Brought to you by Ed Morse. Join the 1.2 million people that have been backed by Morse. With the price protection promise, Ed Morse will match any competitor's price or refund you $500. Here's Toast, Roman, and Scoop.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Could literally just put that on a loop for the next fucking hour, man. That's
25
it.
minutes.
That's it.
For 25 minutes. That's all you need.
Oh my
End
God.
the episode.
Welcome to episode 64.
64.
We are the Orange Bowl Boys, Toast, Roman, Scoop, and yeah.
Oh, God.
Do you know what 64 is?
Too many.
64.
Yeah.
It's 64 more points than the Canes scored in their bowl game against
Bro.
Louisiana Tech.
You know what it means? We're a curse. Like, what the hell have they done since we started doing this? Seriously, it's been straight downhill. A couple little high points, basically downhill the whole way. Out of the gate with LSU, and we just had the bookends with another Louisiana school. Bookend it. This podcast started with the loss to LSU, and it could just end it with Louisiana Tech, and just
It's
screw
perfect.
It, screw it. Call it.
Perfect.
Call it a career.
Yep.
Holy
Perfect circle.
Jesus.
Perfect circle.
What the actual F?
We
What's
lost
that?
I don't know how you guys convinced me to come down for this shit.
Holy Christ!
I was having a good time.
Yeah.
I had a lot of
I
whiskeys on the rocks.
I had a fantastic time today. You know what I didn't do?
You didn't watch the
I
game.
know.
Damn, man, I got a lot of flack.
Well,
And here's what I got to say for you people.
Here we go.
yeah.
Find something better to do with your life.
You missed your boy, though.
What?
You missed your
Martell.
boy. He got in the game.
Good for him. He'll be here again next year. He'll
Well,
be here again next year.
I don't know.
But no, I'm serious though. When I say this, I feel as though you guys just watch it, or you say, oh, the Canes are going to play today, and I'm going to sit down in front of this game and I'm going to watch it. No matter what else is going on in the world, you're going to watch the football game of the Miami Hurricanes. When but it's but why do you do that to yourself? And then you get mad at me because
it was the last one.
It was the last
like,
one.
Regardless, we got 6 months off.
You're a fake
It's
fan.
the last one. It's the last. I mean, you've done this much. Why not just watch the last one?
That's not true
we
because
knew
I
it was
didn't
gonna
watch half
happen.
the season.
Well, that's you.
Well, I'm just smarter than the rest
Some
of
of
you.
us watched all the friggin' games.
What? No, you didn't, and I don't understand. Why would
I
you?
watched more than you.
Yeah, probably.
watch
I'm
it
not.
with a
I'm not
different-
interested in this shit. Did you see it?
I watched all tonight. Yes.
Good for
No,
you.
No, I didn't.
I watched the whole thing.
I tuned in
Why?
second quarter. I
Why?
tuned in-
Why?
But look at my mood.
I do.
Right.
Because my perspective
No,
has
I get it. I
changed.
get it.
I
But-
don't look at it
But
with
there's
the intent.
nothing. There's nothing joyous about that.
No,
No.
zero.
Nothing.
There's
Who
nothing
said
is
it?
joyous.
Not joyous. No, I know it was joyous. At 3:00, I had to watch Liverpool Leicester. That gave me goddamn joy. My boys won 4-0. So I didn't have to tune into the Canes game until mid-second quarter.
Nice.
Because that's when the soccer game ended.
You
So
didn't,
I was
you
happy
didn't miss
to-
them scoring.
I did not.
Do you know what gave me joy?
I did not miss.
You didn't
the
miss any of the
scoring.
touchdowns.
No, I did not miss any of the touchdowns.
Do you know what gave me joy? Was the simple fact that before the game even started
Oh.
and how it ended was so perfect, and it was so you couldn't have scripted this any better.
Oh.
But the fact that the game started with an AP report from Tim Reynolds, not the guitar player,
no,
from
basketball
Tim Reynolds
man.
saying that after this game, Dan Enos and the Miami Hurricanes are parting ways. And at that point, the biggest smile on my face.
Oh,
So the fact that he
happiest
ended
Christmas
up,
ever.
but the fact that he ended up pulling three quarterbacks,
shut out.
three quarterbacks came shut out in a bowl game versus a D2 school, which was your second loss to a D2 school.
They've played
And
two
I'm like, I
D2,
couldn't care.
two D2 schools this year. 6 quarters, 0 points
0 points. 0 points.
in
And-
6 of those quarters.
And regardless what you say, and we all knew this as the season was unfolding, The fact of the matter is there was teams that fared much better against these D2 schools. They're not even really great D2 schools. This isn't a team that's undefeated. This isn't like a Boise State Cinderella run. Sure, Louisiana Tech won 10 games. We lost to FIU, and they turned around and lost to Marshall the next week. You put this Louisiana Tech team could go ahead
They
and play
lost
Virginia.
to Arkansas State in the bowl game.
Bro,
FIU.
do you realize how many ex-UConn head coaches are on that staff? Like
UConn.
UConn. Yes, University of Connecticut head coaches on that staff. That's who just beat you. Shut your ass out in the bowl game was Bob Diaco and Skip Holtz. Get the F out of here. Are you kidding
Skip
me?
Holtz, the head coach?
Oh my God, yes, he was head coach for the transition, and then they went to Edsel. But yes, no, you have former UConn head coaches that just shut your ass out in a bowl
USF
game.
bowl.
Skip
Yes,
Holtz was at
holy
USF,
Christ,
and
yes, he
holy
was.
hell were
Yes.
they bad.
I mean, oh my God.
beat you. Skip Holtz.
I know
Yes,
they beat us.
Louisiana
yes.
Tech.
I know
Yeah,
they beat us.
0
yeah.
points.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It was so
good.
I
God.
hope
It's
to
so
God.
comical.
Look, I told Marsh he better put some money, buy that ticket for me in Vegas today. Because, you can pay off anything you want with that bet.
I will, you bring up the giant news that it was that Enos,
Yeah.
the source said that he's going to be gone. And so the other sources, rumors are that I guess he's going to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So congratulations to him on that one. It's quite a move up. Guess he's
Not
taking
bad.
some of the coaches with him. But anyways, all right. So if that's true, we lose the OC. Rumors are that it's not just the OC. We're going to lose some
Correct.
other coaches.
Correct.
The names have been bandied around. We've seen Rump's name mentioned. We've seen the wide receiver Stubbs.
All the people who came in with
Yes.
close cahoots with Danny.
And,
So
Barry.
and Barry, obviously the offensive line coach. So what do you guys think? Do you think we're just losing Enos? Are we losing 4? Rumpf obviously would be a loss, not because of his performance on the field, but because social media hates him for not being able to recruit 4- and 5-star local kids.
Right.
Because his performance on the field is fine. It is unfireable, hands down. Correct.
Yes. Yeah, correct. Yeah, we just said-
so I guess
That's the only thing
that's
the only thing that's kept him
Those
here.
are two different things.
Yes.
The run thing is separate. Let's start with the offense. All right.
Yeah.
So if we lose Enos,
Yeah.
Butch,
Yeah.
and Stubbs, go. You guys have been clamoring for this since Central Michigan.
I couldn't be happier. What else you want?
So
They
what do you
can
want?
all go. They can all go. But look, Manny is going to bring us, but there's no chance that he doesn't. I mean, if
Really?
well,
No
I don't know.
There's no chance he
If
doesn't
he
bring in the
finds
spread?
somebody that's similar to Enos, I'd have to say that I will turn in my card.
Okay.
That you can do this by yourself
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to watch it again. I'm not going to watch a version of Enos again. Won't do it.
Yeah, you are.
No. I
yeah,
promise you, I
no,
won't.
no, yeah.
So he's going to go to spread. He's going to go to something that appeals to these kids. I mean, you can't not. He's got to see the landscape changing in front of him, right? I mean, it's right there in front of him. I mean, Enos didn't get shut out by just anybody.
Clemson, which was the last time we got shut out.
Yeah.
Enos got
That was
shut
the golden
out.
game.
Enos got shut out with 3 weeks to prepare to Louisiana Tech.
To
So
Bob Diaco,
he's-
bro.
Yeah, whoever that is.
Yes, exactly.
The defensive coordinator for
So I can't wait. I can't wait for the search. I'm excited. I think that all of us should give our top guy that
We
we
will.
want.
We will.
Because I have my guy, and you have your guy, and I have no idea who your guy is because I'm not even
he's
so
gonna
sure.
say Ken Dorsey.
I'm not
He's
even
gonna
so
say
sure
Ken
that
Dorsey.
you know someone who runs a spread offense in this.
What's a
country.
spread offense?
Right. What's
That's
this?
what
I
he's
don't know.
gonna
We
say.
do all that. You see an offensive run today? Their quarterback run? Design run?
He did it
Design
early
run?
on. He did it from his, and there was no delay aspect to it. It fooled nobody, and I literally watched him, and that's why I'm happy because I was just watching because we posted the true accurate stat that they only ran 5 quarterback design runs. So within the first series, he ran
it, of course.
and I'm laughing because
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
you so follow the Orange Bowl.
Of
boys,
course,
Dan,
they all do.
At least your dog does. We know your dog.
They all do.
follows
They all follow us. They all know
So
exactly
They
what's going on.
absolutely do. And I tweeted out tonight in the third quarter that Manny was coaching the game like he was reading Twitter, like he was seeing what folks were saying on Twitter. I'll do that.
Before we get into, or at least before I do,
Seriously,
and
that's what it looked like.
before I get into the trickle down economics of like what
Yeah.
coach is going to be fired,
All right.
reason why I said that term is because Manny, with that bowl performance, you literally were safe, and now you're putting doubt into the fans' mind that you're not going to return either after that performance. You lost to 2 Division II schools, Scoop. 2. That is not something, regardless of how bad Dan Enos is, right? And it's well documented, right? 130th out of 130 schools on third down, which in itself, that's why I was like, Dan Enos in himself should be fired based on that stat alone. Then you piggyback that with Butch Berry and 127th allowed in the country in sacks given up. You were 120th in rushing. You were the second to last team in rushing in the ACC. The stats could go on and on and on. But before we even say that, the team was so unprepared out of bye weeks. And that falls on the head coach. And now if you consider this an extended bye week, you are now 0-4 off bye weeks. And the teams you lost to were terrible. Were gross.
Well,
I mean,
So he has put doubt.
one last, like, I haven't seen somebody go that fast from 0 to Willie Taggart in my life.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
that bowl game
yeah.
just did. You went from 0 to Willie, and Manny, that is our reality. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But you can't count this last one. This is like a ×3 bye because you had 3 full weeks.
Okay.
So it counts more than the other bye. So it's almost like you went like 0-6 in bye weeks.
Okay, I'll give you that. That's fair. You were
he
terrible in bye weeks.
He put the doubt in, right? So he went from safe, like you said, he went from safe to
There was no way.
There's a lot of clamoring that everybody wants, Manny fired 2. Now, I still don't. And what it boils down to for me is there's obviously some other things going on, but this is all on the offense.
Okay.
This is not on the defense. Again, they gave up 7 points today until it was later in the game, right? And they scored late.
You didn't watch the game, but Ro, you did.
Mhm.
Dude, how badly did Frierson and them want to? They knew they had to score on the interception.
Yes.
They knew. I mean, they were doing everything they could to make sure they got.
This
in the
was
end
our
zone.
best offensive
our-
play of
yes.
the day was an interception. Let's do whatever we can. Okay, like they were
It was-
like they
there was
planned
still like
on this.
11 minutes left in the game, and they're treating like it was the final. Literally, there was no time on the clock. We got to keep the ball alive and
And
stay
that-
alive
and
and
that's
score.
With
it.
about
Yeah.
8 to 9 minutes left,
Oh my
one of the
God.
announcers said, and I apologize because I don't know who called the game because I was in a complete, oblivion at that point. He said with like 8 to 9 minutes left, if they would have kicked the field goal, which would have made it 10-0, the game is over. The way that the Miami offense is operating, the game is over. And you're looking at that, and that's what I'm saying. I could watch this. I'm like, how do you not laugh? You have to laugh at the state of affairs because the announcer is telling you with 8 to 9 minutes left, if they would have kicked the field goal, it was only 10-0. Now Miami has no chance the way that their offense was operating. Your boy Tate came in. It looked like a horse without his head.
Oh my
It was
God,
it was
bro.
just look at one person and run around. The circus was in town. Like that
It was
field
bad.
that field that
Oh,
they played on
Jesus.
didn't have a dome. But Miami showed up and put the 3-ring circus right
Dude,
above it because it
that
was a
was
circus.
scoop. It was bad.
Wow.
It was like,
It
okay,
was
just
so-
let him sit down, let him just whatever.
But I
Yeah.
like my tweet though.
Oh Jesus!
Did you see my tweet
No,
about
what did
that?
you say?
Because Tate looked tired. And I'm like, well, me being me, I'm like, shouldn't he have Kiki Paso stamina?
Oh yes, I saw that. Yes, that was freaking hilarious.
he
That was hilarious.
should have a lot of energy. He should be pep on his step.
Maybe last night. Yeah.
Well, you know what Mick
Wore him
said to
out.
Rocky. No, you can't do that.
Not the night before.
Yeah.
Not
Not
the
when
night
you're training,
before.
Rock.
Not the night
Listen
before.
to the Mick.
That's right. You gotta keep that edge.
So we were talking about names, sexy pick names. I'm
Yes.
gonna give. There's a couple names that obviously that I like there. I like Rhett Lashley. He's the SMU coordinator. I like
Okay.
what he did. I liked his up tempo. They had in 12 games, they had almost 200 more plays than Miami. If you plugged in what they had average wise, it was about 1,100 more yards. If Miami could keep its yards per play average, that means Miami's offense would have had 1,100 more yards.
All right.
So I definitely like that. And then my other name would be David Yost.
First, before we get into that, the parameters. What will the administration? What are they willing to do here? How much are they willing to spend? Because that's going to be a significant.
I don't think it's an issue.
I don't
Oh,
think
you
it's an
don't think
issue.
it's an
You saw what they spent on
Oh.
dipshit.
All right, so so you think it's that's not an issue? We don't have to
No.
worry about. Okay, so Lashley.
Nobody that they're going to bring in is going to require more money than they paid Danny.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
All
actually going to pay less.
They'll
to get a better
they'll
offense.
probably have a
To be
discount.
honest,
Yeah,
they're going to pay
yeah.
less. The rumored amount was 7 figures for Dan Enos, maybe in a 1.1 to 1.2. The facts were that he would have plugged in around the 10th to 15th highest paid coordinator in the country. This isn't about money at this aspect.
All right, is
You're
it
just gonna-
Yost or Yost?
Yost.
Yost. All right. So what's his deal?
Oklahoma State.
Got
man.
really great hair.
great
Oh,
hair.
he's with a mullet.
Yeah, but he's
no,
got better
he's like a
hat.
surfer hair.
Yeah,
But he
he's got better
works
hat.
with a mullet.
Yep, Rhett
All right.
Lashley's from
No, he
SMU.
doesn't.
Gundy at Oklahoma State?
No, he's not at Oklahoma.
Not
Gleason's
anymore.
at Oklahoma State.
Gleason's at
Oh,
Oklahoma
okay.
State, but he came from that.
No,
church.
Yost,
gotcha.
Yost
Where's
is
Yost
from.
now?
He was at Utah State last year, and I think he
Okay.
went somewhere else, but I'm not sure where he went.
We'll look.
All
him
right,
up,
so
but
who do
he's
you
a stud.
want?
My pick is Kevin Johns.
Okay, what's his deal?
So Kevin Johns flourished at Indiana, and then he went to Texas Tech. He was with Texas Tech with Kingsbury for a couple of years,
Yeah.
lighting it up there. Then he was and then Kingsbury left. So he left. He was with who's the guy at FSU? Norvell
Okay.
at
Memphis.
At Memphis for 1 year. And you saw how well they did,
Yep.
lit it up.
All right.
So I'm going to read you a stat on Kevin Johns and why he's.
What about Applewhite?
Whatever.
They're-
So ship
Whatever.
sailed in
All right, ship sailed. All right,
2015.
okay.
In
Sorry, guys,
2015.
sailed on that one.
Sorry, bye. 4 years ago, right? And then since then, he was 2 years at Texas Tech, 1 year at Memphis. In 2015, the Indiana Hoosiers became the 4th team in FBS
history.
It's
Yeah.
late.
Sure.
We've been drinking history with a 3,500 yard passer. 2. That's dos in OBB language.
Yeah.
1,000 yard rushers and a 1,000 yard receiver in the same year.
Okay.
4th time in history.
Okay.
I want
So-
him. I
well,
want Kevin Johns.
And
This
so
is
here's my
this is
thing for both
Yost's
of
hair,
you.
by the way.
I love
I
Yost.
love that. I
Love
absolutely
Yost.
love that. Sorry. So
Where's he at?
so let me ask you guys both this, because this is the other question. This is the other side, and we've had fun going back and forth with me and the non-spread and whatever this and that, and you guys got your huge wish. You guys called it. You were 100% freaking correct. They parted ways. I never thought they'd have the balls to do it. They actually did. Now here's the thing. Do you believe, after what you saw tonight, I know you didn't watch the game, but obviously you've been on social and you can tell what size of a dumpster fire it was.
Everyone's like, you do a podcast on the Kings. How do you know? You're not credible. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
The question is, why would I watch that?
So here's the question. You saw that, and I'm seeing a roster full of guys in my mind don't give a fuck. They
No,
don't give a
that
fuck.
game they did.
They don't give a fuck. Well, but
Well,
they
we knew
haven't
they
given,
wouldn't, though.
They haven't given a fuck though for most of the season. With all due respect, with coming out of bye weeks like that, that whole roster doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so my thing is, I mean, just changing that offense, is that going to fix everything?
Well, here's the thing.
It seems like we need to clean
the
complete
defense
house.
cares. The defense cares, though.
The defense does care.
You have a room.
Some of them.
You have a locker room full of kids, and this is on social media. This isn't me making this up. Full of kids who don't like the guy running the offense.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing that.
Okay.
Yep.
I've known that, by
Yeah.
the way.
Nobody likes him. Nobody wants to play for his snarky,
Okay.
sarcastic ass.
Seems like he's
He's a
much like a Saban.
dick.
Yeah. Okay. He's a dick. I got you.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like we
sure.
said last week.
All right.
Right? He's only saying that simply to be an asshole
Okay.
because that's what he is.
Okay.
Okay. Nobody wants to play for him. Everyone's checked out on this dude. So bring somebody in here, and we've said it. Bring somebody in who runs a system that can score. All we're asking for is you to score points. That's it. The entire country can do it except for you.
Yep.
So all we're asking is you use the athletes you get, score the points, and the team morale, the defense, which is already plenty good, it all gets better.
So Manny is going to go to his third OC in his tenure. Technically, because he fired
second.
No,
because he fired the whole first
No, he
staff.
didn't.
Whatever.
Again,
Right, because
No, I'll give it to him. I'll give it to
him.
But there was
I'll give it to him.
technically Brown
No,
was technically
no.
listed as the OC, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'll give it to him.
Yes, yes.
Now I'm back. I was going on and off and on and
I
off.
got one.
He
I got one.
fired Brown, who
And
was
I'm
listed as OC. I'll give it to you.
But anyways, all right. So I mean,
I think Brown left
but here's
before,
my question.
actually.
No, he let him
Do
go.
you trust him to hire the right person this time? He certainly didn't last year, and you guys were on board when he officially hired him.
No, I don't know. No, but I think
We were
that
all like,
there's.
oh my god, it was a cool.
No,
against
I don't trust him
Alabama.
to do it properly, but I think
I
there's a
bought
lot
that one.
less. There's a lot less opportunity for him to
Screw
less
this up?
opportunity for him to screw this up, right? Because
Okay.
now he's not
Why?
trying to outsmart because they're just so plentiful in that scheme. There's so many there's so many good options. Like you can name 10. I can name 10 OCs that I'd be totally okay with.
because they run.
Because
spread.
they run a version. And I would prefer, there are many versions of the spread. I would prefer not an air raid. I would prefer spread it out to run. I would prefer more of a power spread and Auburn,
Baylor.
Chad Mora,
Baylor's
Baylor,
touchdown.
show. Yeah, that's
Is
what
there a former
because our
Kane you
stable
would
of
trust
running
to run
backs.
that offense?
No.
A former Kane?
Yes,
No.
like Dorsey. No.
Because the only two names
I
were
don't know.
Pete Dorsey and Chudzinski.
Yeah,
and
those
none
are
of them.
the-
Neither,
yeah.
no, they don't know it.
Well, Chud's been a long time. That's a long time. That's
Exactly.
20 years ago, bro.
I know, but he was in
Like,
the NFL.
I know. I gotcha.
So here's the thing with people on the defense. All right, with 3 weeks to prepare, that extended bye week,
Oh,
Louisiana Tech's average points per game was 34.
Right.
We held them 20
Sure,
points
no, yeah.
below their average.
And it's not, and he gave up
We
one late.
kept a D2 school that averages 34 points a game in a spread offense to 14 points. The problem is Dan Enos, who I called out last week, which everybody was like, whoa, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Because his dog doesn't like him.
Because the fact, Mr. Smart Man in the room, I called you out because after watching this amateur student of the game, well, I'm a professional student of the game, but I'm an amateur person watching film, and I was able to tell this offense is trash. Trash, completely trash. It doesn't work. It doesn't operate to the point that now you have been shut out against Division II School 6. It's water under the bridge. You're not going to be here. Bye-bye. Take your dog with you. His account's okay anyways. But here's the thing. Why are you mad at the defense? They gave up only 14 points, and I'm agreeing with Scoop. If you have an offense, they've been piggybacking off the success now for since Rick's been here, they've been piggybacking off the success that the defense plays possessed. The defense played well enough to win today. They held them 7 points until the end, and Koshi threw an errant pick. Nobody was around in that zip code. And next thing you know, I said, this is what's going to happen.
Dude, that pick was so bad.
It was so bad. There was nobody within the same.
There were 3 white jerseys. 3 white jerseys.
And he threw it out when somebody was throwing in, which again,
Scoop.
How are these guys so lost in the system?
You'd think he was colorblind.
Like bad. It was. I
It was
laughed.
awful.
See, you're laughing now, but once he threw that ball, this is me.
That's so bad.
Kosi Perry throws back to pass. And it's intercepted. As soon as he threw it, and I looked at him like, look at that. There was nobody close.
It was awful.
And I was just
awful.
watching this offense just die. Listen, if we can get an offense and if it can do the same thing that the defense has done now for the better part of a half a decade, if they can essentially feed the other side of the ball, the defense has carried this team. They're the reason why this team hasn't just like gone 4-8 seasons because of this defense. That turnover season, 10 wins, was because of the fact we led the nation in turnover margin. If we didn't do that, we would be where we are now. That turnover masks something here that's been going on for a very long time. Miami Hurricanes, you play a bad brand of offensive football. You can fight me on it. And I don't even want to hear some of the things, too, because somebody comes out.
Who's going to argue with us now?
A former player comes out. Well, I don't think that's what Enos meant to say.
Oh, no, I saw that. Get out
what do you
here.
think that's what?
Mute.
Said, you know what he said? He said systems don't win championships.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. Stop making excuses of him, because you fast forward to a week later.
Systems don't win bowl games
all
either.
you fantasy land Twitter people, oh my God, just eat your Skittles off a unicorn's ass. You smoke.
It's rainbows and unicorns.
It's rainbows and unicorns. When we tell you the offense doesn't work, it's because we have a set of eyes. You know, we've been at this for a little while. We see the rest of that. Just enjoy your rainbows and unicorns. Strap on bareback, go into the orange and green sunset, and just think everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is awesome.
Everything is so much better right now.
Are so loony sometimes. It's so funny. It's like these aren't real accounts. They can't be. They can't.
They don't. I'm telling you,
they can't be.
Stupid people don't know they're stupid, bro.
Bro, it's so funny. We're not even calling you out a name, but it's like, that's not what Danino said. Like, that's exactly what he said. Oh no, he doesn't have his guys. You mean the 3 quarterbacks who were all highly recruited 4-star blue chip quarterbacks?
None of them can play for him.
None of them can play.
None of them.
They're all terrible.
They're all actually gotten worse.
Yes. The running backs who couldn't find a hole today, guess what? They're all 4-star blue chip guys too. That this team, Louisiana Tech, would take your whole roster. Guess what? You could have flipped today. Skip Holtz,
they'd have beat you by 50.
Yeah. Just all the orange and green guys go to Louisiana Tech.
You know what? That's a great way to look at it. Flip them around.
And tell me what would have happened.
How many points Louisiana beat you by then?
50. Okay. 50. Easy. Can you fight with us on that?
I don't know. They will. They will. They'll fight with it. Somebody will tell me that a spread, like yourself, that a spread is stupid. Today, I'm sure that. It's so much more. You know what? And the problem is, you can't even look. You can't even look at it and appreciate the fact that Enos is going to be gone. Right? You go and so Enos is gone, which means that you can't make it all. You can't make it all. I got to stop that. You can't make it all right at one fell swoop, right? But you're getting rid of Enos. You're getting rid of the worst part of the team, and half the people say, "Well, you know what? That's not the whole problem." No shit.
Now it's not the whole problem.
No shit.
Now they
you know what it is?
backpedal.
You know what it is? It's a start.
It's a start.
And it's the biggest problem.
We got some meditation music.
You need to breathe through your eyelids.
Okay.
Okay.
Breathe.
I have
Like
so much breath in
Downward
me.
dog.
Yes, you need to breathe through your eyelids like
if somebody
the
a
lizards
downward
on
dog.
Galapagos do.
Downward
And you
dog.
just fucking relax for a minute and just settle down.
I'm picturing a downward dog right now.
Oh, sure. It's all going to be good.
I'm good. I'm good.
It's gonna be
I'm good,
Man,
bro.
he's going to make an amazing hire.
Do you realize how great of a day this is?
This is Christmas. You know, what would have been better is if we would have won, like,
Television.
Can I-
week after week after week. Realize this. They lost to FIU, Duke. They lost at axe throwing to Louisiana Tech. They lost to like a trivia game to Louisiana Tech, and then they lost a game to Louisiana Tech. They haven't won in like 6 months.
listen,
Oh, God,
Can
you just got to breathe in nice and
can I
slow,
be,
bro.
Can I be his
It's
defense
all,
attorney?
you
I want to
know.
be your defense attorney. Because I saw the comment towards you, and you're like, why would I even listen to the pod? Because you don't even watch the games.
Oh,
But
listen, there's many better reasons to not listen to this fucking pod
But listen,
than him not watching the fucking games. Sorry, but God, it's true. It's true.
but listen.
Go
but
on.
No, it
I'm
has
so
nothing
mad
to do
at
with that. But they were legitimately like voicing their
Displeasure, their haste. today.
this venom.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I want to say, just being a fan of the Miami Hurricanes for a long time. You know, all those fans that didn't show up for those golden years, guess what? They're just like him. They, at a certain point, you're going to have to put up or shut up. You're going to have to put out a product that's not 6 and 7 at the end of the year. Doesn't make anybody a bad fan. I've never put merit on people showing, not showing, or this, or saying this is a fan first. I don't play that debate. I've had season tickets. I go to a lot of games, but I've never looked differently at somebody who didn't because they weren't winning, because they're like, hey, you know what? My kid's got a ball game today. I'd rather go here and keep him at the ball game because life's too short.
You know what I did all day?
You put away Christmas decorations.
No.
Masturbated.
I spent the entire afternoon with my girls.
Oh,
Nice.
And then you didn't do that.
No.
And how could you be upset with that? How could you be upset that a fan realistically looks at the writing on the wall and sees that this team isn't very good, that this offense isn't very good? And you know what? Instead of beating my head against the wall to watch a team get shut out by a Division II school, which was very likely, that I would rather spend time with my children.
That's it.
How
had a great
in the
day.
world
All
could
right.
you be mad
Oh, they're
at
so
a
mad at me.
Hurricane
They're so
fan?
mad.
So you guys brought this up. So let me ask you, I wrote this down. If you're a dad, how do you look your young Kane fan in the eye? What are you doing to them? Like, how can you, at this age, you got to be like, for their mental well-being, you got to prevent them from being a Kane fan.
You see my Kane sweatshirt?
You can't do this to your children.
You see my Kane sweatshirt?
Yeah.
My son, this is a conversation
God.
that we had today. He goes, 83, 87. He's reading it,
Yeah.
89, 91. And I said, son, stop right there. I said, way back in the day in the 80s and the 90s, we were like Alabama.
Yeah.
We were
yes.
that
The
good.
standard bearer. Absolutely.
That's what we were. I said, son, we're not that good anymore. And I moved on. That's what I told my son. I was honest. You don't think I'm not honest? I'm
You
like,
gotta be
listen,
honest.
he sees my shirt and he's just reading. He was like,
You know
curious,
what
like,
I would
are
tell
these
him?
numbers?
But the state should be able to take
You know what I would tell him about that shirt?
What?
See a big 0 on my chest?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I would
All
say
right.
if I saw this shirt? You could get this available at Cadeswear.
So before we get into the next thing, we dealt with the offense. What do you guys though think about the fact that they're throwing Rump's name out there to get fired? Moving on, and now we know that
And
would
it's not
strictly be
new.
it would be strictly because of recruiting,
Correct.
Yes.
not because of on the field product.
See, the
And
issue-
what's more
yeah.
important, to be honest, developing 2 and 3 stars that stay for 4 years and become really good, or recruiting 4 and 5
The
stars
problem
that
is
can
he's
start their
not
freshman
getting
year.
to it. He's not getting anyone is really the issue, right? I mean, they're
Mhm.
with Bandy gone next year,
Mhm.
they have 4 scholarship corners. That's one hand. That's
Yeah,
4.
I mean, and
And you
I
know
guess
how
do
many
what
he
you gotta
brought in?
do,
And
but
this is
wow.
after
I mean,
he's
that's-
lost
that's-
some guys.
That's really
He lost Bethel.
hard.
Now he's losing. You know, he's lost guys previous to this. And we said this last podcast, Toast. We were like, He's brought in 3 guys in 2 years. You went into Florida with only 4 people. This was going to be a year where you had to do it. Offensive line and Mike Rumpf essentially put themselves on the hot seat themselves with the way that they recruited. Like, literally, you can't do that. You can't be that bare at your position, be given the keys, because that was the initial scapegoat for him, right? He's not even recruiting. He's not even in charge. And over the last, he nailed Christian Williams, and now it's like, oh, see what happens when you let him recruit?
Yep.
Okay.
But let me ask
And
you.
he went to the Waffle House and he got it done.
And then you fast
He did.
forward a little bit
He
more, and after early ESD, you know what happened? He only had to get one guy who doesn't rank that high in comparison to his position in certain metrics, and now he put himself on the hot seat.
So let's think about this for a second. So if you would think that Manny, and I think this falls on Manny or whoever the director of recruiting is, or however that whole thing plays out, you've got a guy who can develop talent, right? I mean, he can develop these kids, top 5 in the country as far as coach. How can you not recruit for him? How can you not put him in a position to be successful? Not everyone on the team is going to be a great recruiter.
And that was my point. You have a really good you have a really good coach, position coach.
So how are they not providing him with the talent that he needs to be successful at what he's really good at?
And he went to that therapist, like he's opened himself
Think
up
about this.
this.
Think about this.
He has done everything that he can think of to become better at this.
Correct. Think if he went to Bama.
Yeah.
Or he went to LSU. He would be one of the top. No, I mean, he's just not talked about as one of the top 3 in the country.
He'd be developing so much talent for the NFL.
Think about
it'd be ridiculous.
how great he would be at one of those schools.
Exactly.
Because
Developing
he wouldn't
those
have
kids.
to recruit.
Yeah.
They do it for him. So why can't Miami do that for him?
When you have a great position coach like that, especially in this day and age where throwing the ball is the offense.
But I'm gonna
like having a secondary is pretty much outside the defensive line is insanely huge.
I'm gonna throw a caveat to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to a job interview. You're gonna be the one that's interviewing me, right? You're part of the organization. I'm trying to get hired.
Am I drunk or sober?
You're sober.
Okay.
You could be drunk too. I don't care. And meanwhile, you're giving me all the superlatives, all the to-dos about what's going on, and then you tell me, and I quote, "Hey, by the way, your immediate boss, he's this guy. His name is Scoop." So what do you think as a recruit, as somebody who wants to go on in your organization, what do you think I'm going to ask? Well, can I talk to him? What's he like? The fact that he can't relate and recruit these kids, and then you're talking about having a third party to help him. Eventually, as a guy, I'm like, well, who's going to be my coach? Because let me find out, because that's my break point, right? That's the guy that I'm going to be with and have the day-to-day interactions, my position coach. And you tell me he's such a bad recruiter, I need a mediator, then I don't want to play for that coach.
But here's my question. How can a guy who was a great player for the Canes and went on to like a 10-year NFL career not be able to talk to a high school defensive back?
I know that.
Recruiting is really.
I know that.
Tell me the answer.
I know that answer. Because these 01 guys, these guys that were a part of that a long time ago,
they don't relate, man.
They don't relate anymore. Because you know what? They don't want to coddle these kids. They don't want to be there. If you don't want the highway, then you go. CJ Henderson's story. Let's bring this up. He walks off out of camp. He goes up to Florida, has a pretty good career. But the fact that, you go, that's not the Miami way. Well, okay. Bye, coach. Well, you know what? Not this 01 fantasy, that is as much as a fantasy. I don't know what to do. I can't relate to that anymore anyways, because everybody tries to revert back to that. The game has changed. You take that 01 team running that same offense today, they're 8-4. I'm just telling you what it is, because these defenses have evolved. Now you got that kid, the mental makeup. They were phenomenal. It's the greatest collegiate team ever. The talent that was there. But now you're sitting there trying to tell me, if we do everything like 01, everybody's been saying this for 20 years. It doesn't work. You got to do something different. If you want to tell me my personal opinion why Mike Rumpf can't recruit, is because he's too much stuck in that mind frame. And you know what? When it's my way or the highway, and the highway's not an option. Well, you got to provide a highway for these kids, because if not, they're going to keep passing on you to the point. This is what happens. You signed 3 dudes in 2 years, bro. And guess who's on the hot seat? You are, because your way didn't have a highway.
All right, so let me mention another name now to you.
Life is a highway, and I want to ride it all night long.
Well, it's better than fucking Top Gun.
Hey, listen, you're a savage, bro. Hey, by the way, did you like Star Wars?
It was fine.
Okay, we'll talk about this later.
Yeah, it was fine. I
was
know
fine.
that you. It was. Listen, my issue. I don't want to do spoilers here, so I won't say anything.
Can we do a bonus pod for this?
We absolutely can after this. Absolutely, yes. I'll be good.
Hell no,
licking
I
up
gotta
for
take
that
you
shit.
home.
Okay.
But all right, so let me ask you this. So the name that's
10
being
minutes.
thrown out there, Alonzo Highsmith,
Okay.
to come in, not to obviously basically be the director of operations for football, to oversee the football program. Let
Mhm.
Blake worry about fundraising and all the other sports. Alonzo is focused on just football.
Okay.
And rumors are that he would leave the Browns if he was given the offer and that authority.
Mhm.
What do you guys think?
I think it's
a
more
great
likely
idea.
after today than it was yesterday.
Okay.
There's a disconnect.
I don't
Right?
think it's likely, but there's a higher chance today.
And I think we need that position. Am I in favor for it? Oh, absolutely. Because this is what happens.
I think look, Blake is very good at what he does.
We're a median, and I'm going to give
Blake's
us.
on the hot seat right now.
I understand
Yes,
that, but
right?
he's a great.
Well,
He's
I
a
know,
great
but he's-
fundraiser.
Right, but he's also good at self-awareness. If he knows that this would help to buy him,
He
like,
can't. I don't mean to cut you off. He can't tweet anything right now.
Who?
You notice that, right?
What?
Blake.
oh
he,
yeah, no,
He tweets
gets
something and he
no.
gets
jammed.
buried.
he'll get destroyed.
Merry
it's
Christmas.
so
No.
funny, dude.
Hey, listen,
Merry Christmas from the
Manny,
Canes.
Manny didn't have a banner flying for him this year. Blake did.
Yeah, so
Manny
funny.
didn't have
Anyway,
a
go
banner.
back. I'm sorry.
All right. So here's the thing, and this is where I feel like, as us as a podcast, and I'm gonna give us a little bit of a pat on the back here, because you know
here
what,
we go.
and I haven't done this. We're what, 64 episodes in? We're 64
Why not?
episodes. So
I think we're fantastic.
I don't want polka music.
No, this is happy, good music. Give us the good
All right.
news.
Here's the good news. We can at least fill in the gap. And what do I mean by that, fill in the gap? Because this is what happens. Because at a certain point, the coach speak, this is what they do. Next thing you know, the fans will complain that the offense doesn't work. Then you get reporters, and I love our South Florida reporters. This is no knock on them.
Wow.
But it doesn't get into
So you're the one.
so this
When
it
he
doesn't
starts off that way,
He has a full-size, life-size picture of Omar Kelly on his wall.
Yes,
Fathead.
I love him. No, I'm blocked by Omar Kelly. I'll tell you.
we
the
know.
story about my block.
You've told it at least once every 10
much,
episodes.
much like Scoop is by Dan
Dan
Enos.
Enos, which goes to show you. But here's the
Baby.
thing. They can sit there and say, and Enos can make a really tone-deaf comment and say systems don't win championships, and they can ask, but they don't know the specifics of the game, right? At that point, they don't know like the certain metrics. They don't know to combat what he's saying. They don't like, hey, listen, Dan Enos, you did another short boundary run to that. You didn't have the run strength. Why do you continuously run into the bound? Like, you don't have those level of questions, right? And then we can pose that, and that's why I'm saying we're going to give us a pat on the back, because sometimes we get intrinsic. We'll talk about the exo stuff that's really going wrong. We really hit the details of it. Now, here's the thing. As that gets up, it gets lost through translation. So you get to the athletic director who, by all admission, Toast, this guy's been like, oh, I'm not here to get involved with staff, changes.
He's good at keeping himself like at arm's length.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's very excited. He's a good politician.
And then you get to the board of trustees,
Yeah.
and no offense, they don't know the difference between like an RPO and a Roth IRA.
Well, and the problem with the board of trustees is there's always one anonymous BOT that'll say what the fans are saying, but the actual BOT doesn't care enough to actually act on it. And there's always anonymous too. They never put their friggin' name to it.
So then here is what I'm saying as far as the stopgap, and somebody who's football minded, somebody who can essentially be what an athletic director is. And when football needs all this attention, because it's the largest revenue making sport, you're absolutely you're blown out of the water if you don't think that football brings in the most amount of money. It ups tuition. It brings in additional revenue for the school. It allows for things that if football is up, the whole program benefits. You don't think so? Go back and look at the numbers post 0-1. But the fact is there's a loss. Like, Blake James doesn't know anything. He doesn't know any specifics about football, personnel, systems. And you know who does? Alonzo Highsmith does. That guy can come in and go, no, Enos, no.
Yeah.
You're 130th on 130th and third downs, bro.
Oh, God.
There's not. I've looked at all your plays. I've had my analysts run this. Here's the scouting reports from other teams. You are the problem. Stop blaming the kids, because that's when I got really vocal. That's when I got pissed last episode, because you were throwing
you realize
everybody under the
fired,
bus,
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And you know what? Deservedly
No,
so.
he's getting promotion to head coach of the Cowboys.
Oh.
Is that? Oh, you know what? Hey, did we get any of that money?
Hey,
We get some buyout money for him?
hey, you know what's funny too? I know the person who made that edit.
I know that.
Yeah,
Ed.
we're fine.
Oh my God,
That wasn't fair. That
I
wasn't
following-
fair.
I- no,
That
yeah.
wasn't fair.
No,
That was like
fair at
taking
all.
candy
Yeah.
from a baby.
It's
Yeah,
not. It's
not
not.
fair, not
That's
fair.
no.
Not nice.
Quite
Not
mean,
nice.
actually.
So
Not
to
nice.
go back to the Alonso,
We are on the big screen at Bob's house.
Yeah,
Oh, are
You
we?
said- oh yeah.
yeah.
Really?
Look at that.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Bob. Hey,
Wow,
Bob on the
Bob.
big screen.
Hey, so
you know what that
are the
means? It's
kids?
almost time to get naked.
Are the kids there listening? Like,
Oh,
is this like
Jesus.
going over the speaker? Because we
Well, yeah,
should
'cause
probably
none
stop
of this
Thursday.
is getting edited.
Oh,
I'm not editing this shit tonight. Are you kidding me?
oh,
No, this is
no,
you do
yeah.
have you have to edit something.
No, I know.
Yeah, all right, okay,
I
good.
agree with that, but
Anyway,
But
That
I'm
was a funny
all in
line.
favor. I'm all in favor for the Alonzo Highsmith
Yes,
move,
okay.
and even more so. You want to know why? I'm
Why?
even more in favor of it now, because when Mark Richt didn't want to come back,
Mm-hmm.
I think he would have did a better job
done.
putting together a national.
Would have done.
Dude, I'm
national-
pretty sure John is still available. He's a private quarterback coach. We
Would've-
could bring him back in.
done a
He-
better job.
We could bring John.
He would have
back
done
in.
a better job
done a better
doing a
job.
national
He would have
search.
did a better job.
He would have did a better. Dude, I'm just like you, bro. You're
I know,
you're
I'm
still
awful.
going. Don't
Fuck
get
yeah,
mad at me.
No, I got you. I'm not. Yeah.
I'm better in
Grammar.
text. I've always
Kiss my
said that.
ass,
I'm
yeah.
way better in
Oh,
text.
Nah, I'm
No.
dumb. I'm not smart.
He would have did a much better job with a national coaching
All right.
search, and maybe you have Mario as your head coach instead of Manny.
So let me ask you this
Oh!
question. He didn't say that.
We want to talk
We're
about
not-
Mario?
You're not getting Mario now.
No,
You're
God,
not
no.
getting
Are you
Mario now.
kidding?
You can't afford Mario.
Are you
now.
kidding?
Yeah.
No,
sorry,
no,
that ship has sailed.
Stop.
All right,
Never.
so let me ask you
He'll
this,
never be
bro,
here now.
because you did climb the perch this week, and you gave us all a view of TVD.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now I made this comment a couple weeks ago, or when our last episode, saying that I firmly believe that he is going to be our starter next year as a true freshman, because I think he's going to beat them out because he is that gym rat guy. You watched the video. Do you think he could be?
I think he could get potentially in the race, but I want to temper some enthusiasm only for the fact, do we want another true
No,
freshman?
no, it's
no,
not
no.
the ideal. Oh, dude, I'm not. But I think we
But
know
I
that
tell you what,
the quarterback room now outside of Mataka is an absolute failure.
if the other guys are the options,
Right. I mean, seriously. Yeah.
I mean, do we want to
If
be there?
it's Kosi or JW?
No, but
Do we
here-
want to be?
I
No.
mean-
Do we want to be?
No.
this
Yes.
is the comment that I said all along.
But no, we don't
And I'll
want
s-
to have to go that direction, but we will.
100%.
Yes.
If it's the other guys he's competing with that are in there now, except for
Give
Tate.
it to him.
Give me Tate in a spread.
Well, you didn't see Tate
Thank
tonight.
He's in that shit offense.
Well, you didn't see Tate tonight.
nothing.
Well,
No,
you
it's
should-
entire. No, I
you
will.
should
No.
wait and watch
You know what I'm
those
gonna
7
watch?
plays.
I tell you, you know what I will watch? I'll go back and I'll watch all of his highlights at Ohio State,
You should watch the
and
ones
I'm going to
from
plug
tonight.
up. I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
I will say this. Jaron was the guy that, I clamor for Tate because of his moxie, because this is what I wanted to. I bought into that new Miami feel. I'm like, hey, this is what we're going to do. Dan Eno sold us hook, line, and sinker. I'm going to tailor make the offense to my quarterback, which he didn't, which that was the biggest lie.
he didn't at all.
That was the biggest
Yeah.
lie. There was no difference, maybe a little bit microscopically, between what you did when Kosi was in and what you did when Jaron was in. I don't care what you say.
No.
If it's not that visible by
that
the
dude.
naked eye, it's
That
just not
dude
happening.
ran
I
the
don't
best
care.
plays his first series ever as a coach here, and then it went to shit.
But I
We got
always
39 yards on the opening drive tonight, our most successful drive of the evening.
But I will say this:
39 yards. You know what that is? That was 16-1 short.
and
of
are you
toward a
gonna get mad at
touchdown.
him? Jump on him for butchering that up. I said one thing in past participles or something.
I got the math right. 61.
you said incorrect
That's a
grammar.
dangling participle.
He was trying. He
Yeah.
was a dangler. He
I'll give
was
you-
trying
I'll
to
give
compute
you-
math
yeah.
in his head.
I'll give you a
Okay.
dangling participle right now. Open wide.
Guess what?
Still on the big screen.
I said
Oh,
this
boy.
earlier, and I'm going to say it again. I picked Jaron because in this system with the tight reach thrown over the window, I
Yeah.
thought Jaron was going to be more
We all
successful.
picked him.
I'm not picking Jaron Williams to be a
No.
spread quarterback here. Nope.
I'm not picking
Nope.
him to be our quarterback here.
Nope. N'Kosi Perry probably has a leg up going into the future because if he can
Listen.
revert back to what he did at Ocala Vanguard, he's probably going to be pretty good. Tate back into his spread system in the shotgun's probably going to be pretty good. You get Tyler Van Dyke, he's going to listen. Tyler has a stronger arm than Jaron Williams.
Mhm.
I don't even think it's close. And after watching and doing his film review and seeing some of the throws that Jaron doesn't have a hurt arm anymore
Yep.
by all intents and purposes, Tyler has the better arm. I talked about this in terms of athleticism, and thank you to Lance Roffers, who I write with over there at Canes Insight. His testing numbers are closer to Deshaun Watson. So you get some tone-deaf people coming out there, oh, we just got Tyler Van Dyke, and he's going to want to leave because he wants to run a pro. Ah! Well, guess what? He played in a spread all year this year, people. He didn't even come, like he went under center very, very sparingly. They ran a spread offense. He did fine. If they want to do it, he has the goods. Put him, insert him, put him into the heat. Tyler Van Dyke deserves to be in Heat 1. Coming into, he's that good to be in Heat 1. I am hoping the best man wins again, and I'm hoping this system they can shine.
If the
That's all I'm
quarterback
saying.
competition does not come down to TVD and Mataka, we're fucked. That's all I'm going to say. We're fucked.
Well,
We're fucked.
how do you,
You're going to have a new offense.
And I will put Tate at number 3 ahead of the other two, despite what happened tonight, which Scoop didn't see.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Because you're going to have a new offense. It's going to be more tailor-made for him. And it's going to be an entirely different scenario next year.
Yeah.
It
might end up be a blessing to decide. You might still have all 5 quarterbacks.
That's right.
Sold under the fact that they have a legit quarterback competition. You know who's the guy who's pick right now out of all the 5?
Tate.
Who's the one? No.
Well, no, there's only 3. There's
Who's
only
the one
3
that's
right
going to
now.
hit the portal
There's 3.
first?
Jaron.
Jaron.
Leaves
Jaron,
Because
absolutely.
Kosey's going to be here for his 4th year. He doesn't care.
No offense to you, Jaron Williams, who set the touchdown record, but the fact that all 3 of us as fans can sit there and say the first person because things aren't going your way is going to leave is you because you've already flirted with it just kind of shows you that maybe you're not the guy for here.
Well, listen,
I'm just saying it.
And we all were all about J-Dub for the entire. I mean, we were all about him last year. We wanted him to get it. The issue is
his mental makeup isn't there, dude.
It has been called out. They have, if you read between the lines, he is awful off the field, doing film, putting in that time, doing the necessary work with the playbook. He doesn't want to do it, and Kosey doesn't want to do it. And they say that TVD is that guy, and so we're hoping that's and. As a quarterback, you've got to, you were a quarterback, you have to be that guy.
Can I go on record?
Right?
But at the end of the year, after 13 games, you know who was probably the most impressive mental quarterback we had?
Kosey.
Was Kosey.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it was close. He never bitched.
No.
He never complained.
And he
Never got in trouble. Never got in trouble
stayed
this year.
Consistent with his interceptions.
Stayed out of trouble.
Consistently inconsistent.
Stayed out of trouble.
Yes.
His IG account was a lot more
that's
muted.
true.
He started,
Speaking of IG accounts,
he prepared. He was able to go in there.
Canes players out there posting highlights for themselves tonight.
Oh, really? Are they?
Good for them.
Good for them. Who had highlights tonight?
Frierson.
When you get shut out,
Frierson had a
that's the
pick.
one.
All
That
right,
is the one.
Yeah.
That he
That's
really
allowable.
tried to score. That is allowable.
It's allowable.
That was the best
We
one.
have
of the
spoken.
night.
That's the only one.
That's the only one that's
the
allowable.
only one.
Yeah.
He got his
He
turnover
literally
chain.
tried to be the offense. He tried to be a one-man offense.
tried to-
And Manny said that he was proud of his team's effort tonight.
Manny can fucking pound sand.
I mean, what else are you going to
Seriously.
say? What else are you going to say?
What else are you going to say?
What? I mean, I
This
think
team
I think you
sucks.
got
It's superlatives,
So
but
let's
I'm
ask
like,
the question.
It's
After
bad.
1 year, is Manny's head on the job right?
Yes,
on the block right now.
yes,
Do you
yes,
think
I've already said that.
do we chop it off?
There's talk about it.
How does this room feel about that? Because 2 weeks ago we would have said hell no.
I know.
I
So
still,
what do we say now?
I still say no. I still say you
50-50.
give him a chance to bring in his offensive coordinator
For the second time.
for the second time. You give him a chance to, and again,
I
that's
gotcha.
part of
All right.
that's part
Third
of
time.
being the CEO.
Okay.
Right? You got to make that decision. He's making that decision because he's smart enough to realize that he can't have his legacy go down with Enos.
But now his legacy will be attached permanently to this next OC.
well, he's
This is
got to
it.
make the right hire.
Yeah, this is
Look,
it.
I mean, you can't. You're not giving an indefinite chances.
No,
Right. So this is it.
this is it.
This is it. I think he deserves another year with the new OC. Again, if you have an OC that's even remotely capable of scoring points, this team wins 9, 10, or 11 games. So I don't
The
think
schedule next year sucks. It is so easy.
easier than this year.
Oh yeah, there's no Florida out of conference game.
I mean, it's okay.
You know,
So-
it's
so-
like
so-
UAB
So next year,
in Tulane.
if it doesn't work, and I'm telling you, I don't see how if you bring a competent coordinator in here that it doesn't work substantially better than it did this year. The defense is fine. The only issue that you're going to have is, do you have enough defensive backs next year to be really successful? But I think they finished 13th in the country. And again, people are bitching because they were giving up 6 yards a carry or something. And then they gave up a touchdown. What are you bitching about?
Bro, let
You
me ask
think
you
that
this.
they're going to shut everybody out?
Is there if Manny was to let Rumpf go tomorrow, is there a coach that he could hire that would bring with him right now an unsigned 4 or 5 star defensive back?
Oh, I have the slightest idea.
The only thing that could potentially happen is maybe you get somebody else from a P5 level that wants to get out, and maybe a guy that he's recruiting late into this cycle, maybe he can bring it, but very less likely. You're going to have to get portal help. And that's where you're going to be. You know, with Stubbs, because you got to look at it this way. Now that Enos is gone, you see that Stubbs was pretty much brought in with Enos, and Barry was brought in with Enos. So those guys potentially could be out of a job. And can we finally get with one of your wish lists here and bring in Lamar Thomas?
Oh, bro, dude.
I mean, I think that might be. I think that might be on the table.
Thomas. I would love to have Lamar Thomas in here.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Listen, we need to have someone that has that Kane mentality on the staff. We do. And Rome's more of a quiet guy. Has always been a quiet guy. Lamar is not. And we know Lamar can recruit because he did it at Kentucky.
He's done it at the P5 level. Listen,
you know who Lamar recruited?
Yeah, I know exactly. Guy named Teddy. Yeah.
So, and I want to sit there and say this too to all the Canes fans.
It wasn't good enough for us.
When they first announced the hire of Mike Rumpf, and he could still be back here. We're going off speculation here, although the chatter's starting to get louder and louder as I look down at my phone. I was against it, only for the simple fact that I just wanted guys here. Miami should be a job where, like, you don't want a freshman quarterback starting if you don't have to. If he's transcendent, great, start him. But you don't want this high school guy cutting his teeth so that 4 or 5 years later we have a recruiting class and he's only signed one guy. I wanted a guy who's already been through the fire and is not OTJ. I don't need an on-the-job training type guy.
Well, let me throw a name out for you. Let me throw a name. Ed Reed.
But see, that's another one for me. But
for defensive back.
But does he want to recruit? Does he want to recruit?
He seems to want to get into coaching. He's got to know that that's part of it. So I'm thinking that he's not a dumb guy.
But is he going to do with the same thing I just talked about? Next year, this guy doesn't have mentality.
He's not going to come in and coach corners.
Well, I mean, he was trolling us nicely tonight. I mean,
good.
He's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer.
They all
he says he wants to coach. I think you got to talk to him, right? You at least talk to him.
I think it'd be great, but then you got to get rid of Banda as well, because Ed Reed's not coaching corners, right?
Right.
He's going to come in. He's going to coach safeties. And can Banda coach corners? I don't know. I mean, I'm not really sure.
Isn't that Manny's best friend?
Who?
Banda? Or is it?
I don't know.
I don't think Banda's going anywhere.
I don't think Banda's going to. Look, their safeties don't play poorly. They're just not. I don't know.
Amari, if we're going to be,
I like LT. I want LT. I'd love LT.
But that's on the opposite side of slow. Amari probably, if we're going to keep it really real, I think Amari
is probably better at striker.
Probably comes down to linebacker, if you're asking me, because it's definitely a drop off. We don't have that eraser at safety in the run game that we've had in years past. Jaquan was magical about it, and Amari's a step behind that level, if we're going to keep it honest. That I could sit there and say that's more of a talent level from one to the next year, and we're going to have to recruit it a little bit better there. But
look, I'd take
corner position.
You want Ed Reed as a safety coach? I'd take it all day.
Yeah,
I think you recruit. You could probably recruit.
Okay, and then move Banda to corners?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he's picked up on a few things with Rump. They've been standing. I mean, it's the same stuff.
He does want to coach. He's vocal about it, right? He's vocal about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't know. Get him and LT. You get Ed on one side of the ball, and you get
LT.
You get Lamar on the other side of the ball.
I'd love to get Lamar on the staff. Absolutely.
I think if Stubbs goes,
now,
I think that there's a pretty viable option there.
I'm just concerned that Manny's not the guy.
Well, you don't know that, but you have to start as opposed to just starting all over again.
Here's my thing. I just find it hard to believe that he tried different things out of bye weeks, and 4 times they didn't just lose games. They got rolled. They got rolled coming out of bye weeks.
But think about this.
And after the first 2, he changed everything.
I understand, but it's their offense that came out.
But I think
it's not like they came out and got lit up.
Well, the defense of Vodtech, they were down 28-0 in like the 1.5 quarters.
Can I give you a parallel?
That was the worst one.
North Carolina was bad. North Carolina was bad.
Yeah, that was also bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like they came out and got boat raced a little bit in the first quarter.
And even after this game, they were top 13 in like scoring defense. They're going to drop. Yeah. Because they only gave up 14 points. I'm going to give this
to the offense. Offense fixes 60% of this.
Because I lived through this. All right. This offense is like dating a girl that's pretty good looking.
Here we go.
Right. but you
But she
vomit.
has gonorrhea.
No, every time she talks, you're just like, please don't talk. You're just
Every time she talks, she
Yeah.
vomits.
yeah, just like you're so dumb.
You do.
Oh, you do.
You're
Gotcha.
like, please, you just look pretty.
you just want her to not talk.
Just please don't
Gotcha.
talk, please. Like you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed.
You
And-
only want her to open her mouth for other reasons.
okay. It's a friend show. It's a kid show, right?
Is it though?
Yeah.
Is it?
Right now, no. So she's very good looking.
You wanted to do a New Year's Eve show.
Yeah.
So
We can't. we can't
It
even
was
get
your
into
idea
this.
to do it tonight at 8
No,
o'clock.
it was not
That
my
your
idea.
It was your idea. It was not.
I wanted to do it tomorrow.
Yes, but I'm not
and you
available
said,
tomorrow.
"Hey, let's do it tonight."
So
Gotta
she's
strike while the
that
iron's
good
hot.
looking.
You didn't want to throw up. You just didn't want her to speak.
you didn't.
Mm.
You didn't.
And when she did speak, and then the conversation went really south, and you're like, I can't believe she speaks.
The-
like you have
the
it just
the dumbest person I've ever known.
I know, right? He knows who I'm talking about. And you don't want her to talk, but when she talks, you
She's
know.
really sweet.
And
but-
like, look,
oh my God.
and there's the two of you, right? And we're two entities that make one.
Uh-huh.
I'm the boyfriend, you're the girlfriend. I'm the offense, you're the defense, or she's the offense and I'm the defense. I hold up my part of the bargain when I talk. You know what? We
He's
can
better
carry
in
a
text, though.
conversation. And I'm better in text, but when she talks, oh my
Whoa.
goodness. She's
Right.
like she sets back mankind. And that's what this defense, that's what this offense is to the defense.
I agree. You know
Like-
what? That is a wow. That's a
Right?
brilliant analogy.
It's because he knows who I'm talking about, because he knows that person that I dated.
Thanos.
I don't. I once dated
And they
a
had the
girl.
same name.
Thanos.
Girl
Was
who
so close to Enos.
I once dated a girl who
Oh
would
my God.
French
It
kiss
was one
without
off.
using her without using her tongue.
How's
And
that?
so
possible?
it was like a bat like a bass fish.
Thanks
It's
for your
like
contribution.
your tongue's in
This
there and it
is-
just swizzles around in nothingness.
This is tough.
This is going to be a
This
YouTube
is-
live
this
show.
is
only.
tough dealing with him right now.
All right, this is awesome. But when you have one part of the
It's getting hot.
when you have one part of that relationship, like the Ben and Benifer, like not holding up their part of the bargain, it's just going to make the whole thing suffer.
Franny.
So they want to know if Baker's back in 2020.
We think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, we think so. We
Is
don't
that good or bad? Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Listen,
So we're gonna think. So we right now we're
You
saying
don't
that
need to
tomorrow
reinvent the wheel. on the
this
defensive
team's gonna
side
be
of the ball.
without Enos, Barry, Rumpf, and Stubbs. That's
Strong
what we're
possibility.
thinking.
That's the
Those are
that's
the
the
four.
odds.
Those
That's
are the
the
four.
odds, yes.
Okay.
now, here's the thing. I think being that when you had, and I posted this, and I love people spin on this. I'm like, listen, these are stats. Stop arguing with stats, please. They are what they are. Stop putting your spin on them. But when I said out of scoring defense, scoring total defense, all the major pass defense and rush defense, right? Can we just on record say that those are the four greatest statistical defensive categories: scoring, total, rush, and pass? Miami ranks better than LSU and Oklahoma in all of them. They are better than all of them. So if that team can get into the playoffs with superb offense, then let me judge Butch Berry and that defense when we have a capable, suitable offense that can get us to the next level and beyond. That's all I'm saying.
Robbie Porter says the three of us talk over each other so much we can all go face fuck each other.
Nice. Yeah.
Fucking Christmas, dude. Really? That language? You kiss your mom with that
Who?
mouth?
Who's that?
I don't know. Robbie Porter.
Hi, Robbie Porter. Is
Damn,
that Matt
dude.
Porter's brother?
I
How
have
is he
no
doing
idea.
in Boston? Matty
I have
Ports.
no idea.
Matty Ports.
Let's just talk over each other though, so we can drive him fucking crazy.
Has he ever watched this or listened to this pod before?
I don't know.
Don't come in here and state the obvious,
I
bro.
don't know.
I'm actually
God
taking
damn.
time. I'm
I am
pausing.
too. I am too. I don't even know what he's talking about. You clearly haven't listened to the show before.
All right. This week on social, do we want to call anybody? Do we have to call anybody?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
do you want to?
do?
Do you want to?
well, we could talk to Ryan.
Yeah?
I'm sure Ryan. I talked to him earlier.
What's he gonna say?
I'm curious. I
Ryan's
love-
gonna go.
Oh God, it's gonna be awful.
No, it's going to be awesome.
He's gonna. They didn't score any points.
No.
No, we'll talk about
love
what
Ryan.
his takes.
He's the best.
Yeah, we're gonna get his takes on where he thinks we
right.
should go
Okay.
on the offensive side of
So
the ball.
Ryan Collins, not Bobby Collins, right? The comedian, Ryan Collins. All right,
Call Bobby.
Gotta make sure
They're
I call
both
the
going
right
to be
goddamn
funny
one.
tonight.
Call Bobby. See what he's got to say about the Miami Hurricanes offense. Are we talking over each other now?
Porter. He hasn't said anything. He may have left because it was Oh,
Hey, he logged off. Are we calling him?
yeah.
Oh.
not Robbie Porter. This isn't Robbie Porter.
Your call has been forwarded to an.
Oh boy.
Want to let them know we're calling?
Yep, that's how we always do it.
See, we edit this part out for everybody that's watching. This will be edited out, and it'll be like seamless shit.
It sounds like a transformer
Yeah.
when he does it. We are so getting into
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Call Malik or Brad. Brad is out in L.A., I believe.
Yeah.
He's out in Hollywood.
Yeah, he's out
He's
there.
going to be an actor, right? He's going
Malik's
to
out
be.
of town, too.
He's going into mom's
He's
place.
a writer.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's behind the scenes, but so is she. All right.
All right, can we call him back? Is he ready for
I'm
us?
texting him we are calling you. so
All right, let's see what
usually-
happens.
It's called Brad. Call Brad. Just
Hello?
call him.
Hello, is this Ryan Collins?
This is Ryan.
Ryan, you're on with two sober Orange Bowl boys and a drunk one.
This is gonna wait till we play your intro.
Oh boy! All right, man. So if you're ready, we will. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta get his open.
Oh, did you get
Oh,
rid
for
of that
God's
We'll
one?
do it
sake.
after. I'll drop it in after.
Okay.
All right. So as always, brought to you by Advanced Insurance. It is former Canes quarterback Ryan Collins. So Ryan Collins.
Yes! Yay!
Ryan, did you watch the game?
Yeah, I watched that mess.
So we're gonna get right to it.
Yeah, we saw all three quarterbacks.
That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
All right. So
Hey, I didn't watch the game. Did I miss anything?
No, you didn't miss anything. I just want to know why did Tate Martell play today?
I think Tate collectively, he was in 7 plays. He ran 70 yards.
God damn!
But he only
For 5
netted
yards.
He only netted
Netted
like
yard,
a yard. So we're gonna get to the hot topic of discussion right now. The reports are flying in even before the game with the AP reporting Tim Reynolds, and they said that Dan Enos will not be retained. What are your initial reactions to that, Ryan Collins?
I'm kind of up and down with it because he just went through the whole season. So the second year when you're in the system, usually you get better. So now that he's gone, they're gonna get a new system, and then what's gonna happen?
Well, systems don't win championships, so it doesn't matter.
But I'm talking about the system. You're gonna have to get blocking schemes. The kids gonna have to learn the terminology and everything else. That's the hard part.
Yeah, but they didn't do a good job learning the blocking schemes this year. So
I think it's a valid point.
yeah,
I mean, in certain metrics,
18-year-olds playing also. You have 2 18-year-olds playing. They're gonna get better.
yeah.
yeah, they're obviously going to get better. And I will tell you that, and I'm not going to sit there and default and just go to rage and say, oh, they're not going to get better. Regardless, you're going to get better year 2. And I don't disagree with that, Ryan, but getting better when you're on the floor, when you're 130th out of 130 schools, or when you're 127th in sacks allowed, even going up to like 100th or coming up to 70, like that essentially is not going to be good enough. And I think that's why they're parting ways. Would you agree with that? Or, because this floor was really the floor.
I agree with you 100%. But like I said, the second year you usually get better. You can see growth. Like Darren was playing good, but if you take somebody in and out of the game 4 different times, how's he going to have any confidence to play?
Okay.
Like, I just don't understand what they're doing. If you're going to lose with them, and then just don't play them the next game and play the other guy. But you can't play a football game as a quarterback and go in and out. That's the problem they have with a lot of defensive coaches when they're head coaches, because they think they can do like they're on the defensive side of the ball. Just say, "Oh, put somebody else in there." You cannot do that.
So somebody else who chimed in today, Ryan, I don't know if you saw that, but Brian McKinney came in, and he's in basically Tyler Horn as well. And they were both like, hey, the fact that it's like blitz pickup 101. The fact that this left guard is not picking up this immediate threat, not picking up this linebacker, like you're 13 games into the season. Like when you're making those type of mistakes this late into the ball game, don't you think that was a nail in the coffin on why Enos is not going to be retained?
Yeah, that's 100% coaching. And like if you're telling me that you have somebody blitzing off the edge, I saw this 3 times a day, where he had a free hit on the quarterback and nobody kicked out to pick him up or anything, and I see the guard and the center double teaming the guy. So that means they're not communicating. That means their eyes not up because they have to kick to that. That's the easiest pickup you can possibly have.
Yeah, and the fact that we're making this mistake so late into the season, that's what I'm just sitting there and saying. So I don't know if you've looked around the rest of the country. You kind of threw out some names, and it seems like this is going to be a foregone conclusion. Is there a system that you like somewhere else in the country? Is there a name offensive coordinator that you would like to see here at the University of Miami?
I don't care who it is. As long as they can use a motion shift, stack somebody, and get the ball out the quarterback's hand and run the ball, we're good.
Okay.
Just be consistent with it. And don't play, like, take these quarterbacks in and out the game because that's the most ridiculous thing you could possibly do.
Yeah, and the
Like,
fact
he played Tate Martell, and he missed 2 games because of personal reasons. Didn't know if he wanted to be on the team, and you reward him by playing him in the game. To get in the game to run around, to run 3 plays in a row like he's a running back.
So Ryan, tell us how you really feel.
They needed to up the quarterback runs, right?
Oh my God,
we do all that.
Bad. It was so bad. It was so
And
bad.
then, you know, I've been on the coach all year. But the thing about it is they said he's getting better and he's practicing hard and doing everything. So now he becomes your third-string quarterback. You put him in the fourth quarter, and then he throws a pick. So then what are you going to do? You're going to take him out? They didn't take him out after that.
Yeah,
It's no consistency.
They should have put Peyton in. Should have put Peyton in. Why not?
Yeah. You could have burned it.
You could have.
He had games to spare.
He had games to spare on the red.
I bet if they would have put TVD in, no one would have noticed.
Who's this redhead?
All right, so Ryan, so now you've seen everybody they have. We except for Mataka, who came in this year. We got TVD coming in for he'll be in this winter, so he'll be here for the spring. I mean, who do you still have any faith in Kosi or Jaron winning this job going into 20?
Like, hey, Jaron Williams played good football when they weren't just taking him in and out the game. He could throw a football. Like, I think his biggest problem is leadership, and he can't be watching film the way he's supposed to. He has to have a problem with that, but he could throw a football.
So,
Nicosi, you're gonna. That's all. You got the best you're gonna get from Nicosi right now.
So back this up a couple weeks ago, or like not even like within this week, they actually called out that quarterback room and say, TVD brought something to the quarterback room that was lacking. And I think you just alluded to what was lacking was the fact that, having that gym rat, having that person who's going to study and watch film. If Jaron is going to be a successful quarterback, if you still have faith in Jaron, which it sounds like you do, at what point does it become a liability if the kid's just not going to watch the film like he's supposed to?
And until you get somebody else who's better.
Okay.
TVD.
That's fair.
Find me more quarterbacks.
Listen, Ryan, we thank you so much for calling in after all these games this year and helping us break down the quarterback room. Obviously, this all segment always brought to you by Advanced Insurance. How do folks get in touch with you guys if they need some help with their home or car, any insurance needs?
Give us a call, 954-436-4027, and we'll take care of you.
Bro, have a wonderful holiday and a very happy new year. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
There you go. He is Ryan Collins.
Love it. Still a fan of Jaron.
It's the best. I know.
Yeah.
Still, and I get it. Listen, a couple of weeks ago, he still broke the touchdown record. But
he did.
From that point on.
Yeah, and then he went to FIU.
Yes. And then he went to Duke. And then he went to Louisiana Tech. I mean, that is probably a microcosm of itself of the season, right? You go to Florida State and you literally get their coach fired.
Yeah.
Oh, calling somebody.
Who? What?
I don't know. We're calling somebody. I was given a phone number to call.
Oh.
Surprise guest.
Yeah, I don't know who this is.
Hello.
Hello. Who are we talking to? I was given a phone number to call.
He's like the coolest guy ever.
Yeah.
Marsh.
Can be only one person.
Yeah. What are you doing out there, Bradley?
Yeah.
Brad Kaya, everybody.
I called him Marsh. Hi, Brad. Did you get to FaceTime and go on this side of the, did you get on to the sidelines today? Did you coach?
I was there in spirit for the first 5 minutes, and then after that, I just kind of lost out.
Okay. Did you watch the whole game, or were you like Scoop and then you found something?
Unfortunately, I did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No, those are 4 hours you never get back, man.
On my day. Yeah, I'll never get it back.
No, like you're on your deathbed, like 30, 40, 50 years from now, we're on our deathbed and we're like, oh my God, I could get 4 more hours had I not watched that shit.
So, Brad,
Right.
the actual hot topic, we want you to weigh in on it. So they've announced, or at least they came out with Tim Reynolds, the AP. This Dan Enos will not be retained, and it looks like the university and him are not parting ways. Your initial reactions to that news?
My question is spread. What's next? I hope it's spread. I hope so. Yeah, we'll see. But sorry, Dan Enos, sorry it didn't work out. But I'm really, I think people's prayers were answered. A lot of people's prayers, and I'm just hoping for a nice, modern spread to come about pretty soon. So we'll see.
And I think people need to kind of go back to your first year with Rick. It seemed like in the beginning of the year, you guys were really heavy I formation. I remember that Notre Dame game on the road. You guys were heavy in that. And then you guys go play North Carolina State, and it seemed like you kind of went to that. You went to a quick gun spread offense, and you guys started that roll of that 15 wins in a row with you as the quarterback. So from experience, correct me if I'm wrong, you can actually tell the listeners, like, yeah, I like that spread offense. I liked even what we did with Rick, and we should do this moving forward.
I gotta go pee.
Right. I think when you're playing, modern age football, it just makes sense. It's a lot. You just keep it simple. You go fast. You get rid of the ball. I know some people were kind of on Jaron about dinking and dunking. They were kind of critical of that, but at a certain point, you have to be able to hit, quick passes if your O-line's going to give up. I don't know how many sacks they gave up this year.
Coming into this game, they were 127. 47. They were coming into this game 47. They were 127th out of 130 schools coming in.
Wow. And I think I got sacked 25 times my last season. So.
And you got sacked like 8 times in one game.
That's right.
Apparently, I can't move. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's.
Think about this, Brad. Think if you were behind that line this year, dude.
He would have been sacked the same amount of times. Scoop.
I'm not saying. I'm just like he doesn't want to be there.
And
right. Imagine.
Right. No, I mean, I just think the spread makes sense in today's day and age of modern football. If you're not Alabama, you're not Georgia, I think the spread makes sense. It just does in the ACC, especially, and moving forward. I think for our players, our athletes, I think that's what. It's just we have no choice now at this point. I think.
Well, think about it. The spread was the equalizer. It enabled Duke and FIU
to compete with Miami,
to compete with any of these programs. Not at the level to where they were actually beating them, but you've gotten to that point. So that was the equalizer. The less talented teams, you spread them out. You give them some space, and all of a sudden you find,
we're not weak for Miami.
Welcome back to the room.
Like remember the Titans, right? It was like remember the Titans when they played it. I forgot who they played, but they threw the ball, and the team was like, "What are they? The New York Jets, or something like that."
Yeah,
so it's like
I remember.
Back to that.
Good parallel.
Yeah. So.
And just on a quarterback side, something that I saw, and later on I'm going to break this down, or I'm going to do it tomorrow. But one of the reasons why Jaron, I'm just going to get your initial take, but one of the reasons why Jaron was dinking dunking, they seemed like they were just dropping 8 a lot, correct? It seemed like they kept coming in with a 3-man rush, and we're content with putting a lot into the backside. Did you see it the same way?
I'd say so. I'd say, again, it seems like, obviously, naturally, it's quarterback. When they're dropping off, you're going to take your, deacon and dunking stuff. And that's why I'm sure his completion percentage, I think, was, like 70% at the start of the season. But then it seems like around mid-season is when teams started keying in, and jumping on stuff and really breaking on some of those passes you saw. And that's why, it was like there was nothing. I mean, it seemed like everyone was blanketed the past 3 games. It's been, no one's out there. It's like the defense is playing with 13 guys out there. So
that's definitely true. That's definitely true. The failure to adjust. So obviously we're at the same situation. It's like Groundhog's Day, Brad. We were talking about an offensive.
Like deja vu.
I know. And the fact that we were so excited about Danny Enos. I mean, he was true to his faults. He stayed multiple. There was motion throughout the whole year.
Right. I remember the breakdowns. The breakdowns made it seem like it was, The second coming.
Yeah, sure did. Hey, we were all fooled. Look, he
Yeah.
pulled the wool over
Right.
all of our eyes. I mean, let's be real.
Right.
And the fact that
Right.
the proof in the pudding wasn't there, the fact that you ended off so low when and you were in the room and it wasn't too long ago. I mean, there's talent there, right? We're seeing
Yeah.
guys that are talented. These are some really good wide receivers that just even say that Louisiana Tech, they'd want those guys on their team. We're not going to sit there and
Right.
say that Miami doesn't have the talent, are we?
No, certainly not. Yeah, certainly not. I mean, I mean, at the same time, it's like right now at this point, there's not much that we can say good, but that's one of the few things that we can say is, yeah, there's something, there's a spark there. There's something that can be cultivated, I think, with the right scheme.
So
I mean, that's always been,
aside from what Eno says, and scheme doesn't win anything. Let me ask you a
Right.
question. So I keep saying over and over and over again that having an offense that is exciting, right? Make Miami fun again.
Mhm.
Have an offense that's exciting, that can score points, that's high tempo, that's high energy. Does that not feed to the rest of the locker room, right? I mean, you have a defense that is still 13th in the country. Defense is still very
Right.
good, no matter how many, the eyes kind of deceive you a little bit because they give up some big plays in crucial times. But having that offense, it creates energy and invigorates the entire locker room to where that can be the catalyst, can be that one thing that changes the dynamic of an entire football team. Am I right or am I wrong with that?
No, I think you're definitely right. I think, just in terms of keeping it simple, but also appearing as complex, running, not overloading the guys. It seems like guys are playing slower than they should be. You know what I mean? Like in terms of thinking too much, in terms of maybe there's too many concepts, too many plays, too many things to worry about. Whereas I talked to Deshaun Watson before, and he said that Clemson, they had very few plays. It's just several ways, several different formations, ways of getting to those plays and dressing them up differently. But, by limiting the amount of different verbiage, that they were able to go fast and, catch teams off guard and do a variety of things.
Hey, so
yeah, I mean, I agree with you. But basically, my point is I agree with you. Yeah, in my own convoluted way. Yeah.
So Barry Jackson from the
Very
Miami
complicated.
Herald, he basically, a UMQB, admits on the record that we were just going through the motions. Okay.
Oh, it was a UMQB.
Yeah, it says.
Well, no, kid, they don't want to be there.
But how? All right, I'm not going
Who
to
wants
focus.
to be in Shreveport?
How do we fix that, Brad?
Fuck you, dude. Shreveport's awesome.
Who wants to be in
Community.
Shreveport?
There's nothing wrong
Like,
with the Shreveportians.
Oh my God!
Shreveportians are good people. They're good people.
We lost
Shreveportians.
an axe throwing to the Shreveport Bulldogs.
Shreveportians is what they're called.
The best comment that I saw online was, "Why does the Shreveport mayor look younger than the running back?"
That was good. That was good.
That was a great. That won
Yeah.
Twitter today for me. But going back to that statement with the quarterback, who's saying we were just
That's
going through the
crazy,
motions.
by the way.
How exactly?
I mean,
I think. How does
We're
that? How
at
do
the
we
point
fix
where
that?
players are calling the press. I think. I mean, first off, just don't go 6-6 because if you go 6-6, you're gonna end up in either Shreveport or Detroit or Annapolis. You know what I mean? So don't go 6-6.
and then you
That's
open the
first
door to 6 and 7.
Which they went
off.
6
It's
and
6
7.
and 7, which we were in the same position after my freshman year. We lost to Florida State, and then it was downhill from there. And then we lost to South Carolina in the same bowl. And yeah, I mean, I can understand him on that statement. It's hard to get motivated, especially when there's I think 8 guys sat out or 7 guys that are sitting out. But I think some kind of not an upheaval, but some invigoration. I think there has to be a youth movement. Like the younger players in that situation, I think, gotta get galvanized. And they gotta lead the charge because the bowl practice obviously it's important in the bowl game, but it's also designated for the young guys to get ready for the following season. So it's got to be a bit of both. But I understand. I mean, it's hard when you got 7 guys sitting out for a bowl game, and you're playing a team who's playing at their home stadium. So.
All right,
that's understandable.
Brad. So obviously, Scoop and Roman have asked you all the football questions, and that's fine. But the reality is that all doesn't mean dick anymore because the season's over and we suck. So let's ask you some real important question, and that is: you're in Hollywood. You're in Hollywood. You're a writer, and I'm drunk right now. So the question is: is Die Hard a Christmas a movie?
No, I was just watching. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
think so,
Yes,
without
it
a
is,
doubt,
Scoop.
without a doubt.
It's a
And
Christmas
classic.
music.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
You know when Die Hard was released?
Around Christmas.
It was released in July.
19
It's
July?
in July.
Hey,
So?
Christmas in July. Christmas in July.
Yes.
Not a Christmas
Hallmark popularized that.
movie. Not
Scoop.
a Christmas movie.
Of course, it's a Christmas
July.
music.
Brad
Nope.
Guy has spoken. He's in Hollywood.
Yes.
He's the definitive.
Brad Kai
Christmas
is my
movie.
new best friend, and he is
I think
totally
without
wrong.
a doubt.
No, it's Christmas.
mean,
100% wrong.
Okay. So Brad, you're outspoken. Three to one.
I don't
Yeah.
care. Look, pretty
It's a
much
Christmas
everybody,
movie.
pretty much everybody on Twitter thought it was crazy too.
Yeah.
But the reality is, you're all wrong.
Oh God! All right, Brad. So listen.
Man.
So the season's over now. Obviously, it didn't come close to
Yeah.
meeting the expectations we were all talking about in
Right.
preseason. We're like
right
10
back
and
at square
2.
one.
Of course. So on a
Yeah.
scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being very optimistic and 1 not being optimistic at all, where do you, as a former Kane and a Kane fan, stand heading into the offseason right now on a scale of 1 to 10?
Listen, to be honest, I feel like it's just one big cycle. I feel like we find ourselves in this situation a lot. Then the recruits come in, season starts. I think after recruiting season finishes, I'll have a better grasp of that answer. So I'll come back to me then.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So right now, I'm at about a 5.
Okay.
I'm at a
All right.
5.
Nice.
All
That's
right.
where I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this wasn't obviously what any of us expected. I mean, I'm sure Old Takes Exposed could get us on a lot of comments that we've made
Yeah.
this year.
Mhm.
But I think, the recruiting class would look like they were, second in the ACC, I think.
Yes, they were.
correct.
Yes.
There's another signing day, I guess. There's 2 now. There's 3 signing days now.
Yeah,
or something like that. And then, depending on who they bring in, it's like, last year, Mark Rickstow and, all hell's broken loose. And then Manny Temple, and then boom, Manny gets fired. And everyone's faith is restored. And we get 5 transfers in. And
Well, I tell you what,
and
I think all of us-
Miami,
I think all of us
the
taking a
portal
5,
sound
all of us taking a 5 and punting on that is fitting on the night in which we set a record for most punts in the walk-on bowl.
right.
We're going to have
9.
to punt on a lot of things
9
that we said, Brad.
punts.
Was Headley good?
Yes.
Until the last one. Until the last one. He
When
did.
we needed him
Yeah.
the most, we really did.
he pulled a Tate. Brad, thank you very much, bro. We hope you had a wonderful
Yay.
holiday. And
Merry
Happy New
Christmas.
Year, bro.
No
Thank you very
Happy
much.
New Year. Happy New Year. Stay safe
Yeah.
out there, okay?
All righty. Talk to them, guys.
Later,
So
bro.
good.
There you go, Bradley Kai, everybody.
Yes.
Just because.
Because why the F not? Exactly. And we'll just do one more quick phone call here, I think.
All right.
One more quick one. This person may have already committed suicide, so they may not even answer. So that's all I'll say about that. We'll see on the second ring on the $10,000 call. He's alive still. He hasn't killed himself. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to bring in, to wrap up a 6 and 7 season with a big, beautiful red fucking bow. His name is Marsh. Hey, Marsh.
Hey, Mark.
Hey!
Boys, how are we?
We're drunk. I'm drunk off my ass.
See, he kept it going.
This is going well.
I've been pounding
Holy
him.
hell.
Been
remember that
pounding
girl-
him.
This
Girlfriend
is the
story?
4th drink he's had since we've sat
Oh,
down.
no. This is 5.
Do you remember the girlfriend story?
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is. Hey!
So, Marsh, listen,
He
Marsh,
just wanted to shut up.
you're one of our biggest fans on Twitter. You love the Canes.
And we're one of yours.
We just went 6 and 7. We just got shut out by Louisiana Tech, filled with former UConn head coaches that just beat our ass. How do you feel?
I feel like I'll I feel like shit, man. Like this is I don't feel anything right now. How are you guys doing?
Like you, just
Yeah,
numb.
no,
I'm fine.
Scoop's
Yeah,
fine. He
fine.
didn't watch the
I didn't
game.
watch the
You
game.
know what's funny, Marsh? We all thought like 10 and 2 preseason.
Oh,
Back in
100%.
August, we were
100%.
all like 10 and 2 is the worst. The worst we'll do.
Yeah.
And next year's schedule is even easier, and we're going to go 5 and 7.
I
No,
remember,
we
I
are
remember
not.
talking-
No, we're
I
not.
remember-
Because we're going to
I
have a
remember
spread
talking
offense.
to you guys. I remember talking to you guys in July or August and said if we lose less than 9 games, it's a fireable offense.
Yes.
Well, it's getting fired.
So
Holy Jesus.
somebody's getting fired, and then
Yes.
I just want to ask you, Marsh. Now, we all pretty much had the consensus as the Orange Bowl boys that Manny was going to be fine into year 2 because he was a first-year head coach. After losing to your second FCS, your second D2 school in Louisiana Tech and not scoring a point, should Manny Diaz now in the offense be worried about his job?
Yeah, absolutely. Why should he come back? Like, if you are worse this year than you were last year, and he said last year was inexcusable, why should he come back? I mean, there's no hope. There's no promise right now. There's nothing. And I'm sorry, he's just a clown right now. What do you guys think?
Well, I want to know, how do you feel about him leaving here to take over Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, you threw a flashbang. You threw a flashbang in his face. That's Enos, by the way.
Enos is going.
Yeah.
I would straight up, I would stop watching football. That would be
that would be your.
He's already pretty much given up on Saturdays, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to give him on Sundays too. Look, I want to bring up something to you
All right.
guys. Speaking of not scoring a point, Miami's 14-0 loss to Louisiana Tech, their Division II school. If you didn't know that, marks the only time. I was going to second the only time in the last 40 years, 4 decades, that a team from a power conference was shut out by a team from a non-power conference in a bowl game.
Hey, someone's got to be the.
I mean,
team.
that's good. He's going out with a bang. So, right? I mean, think about it. That's what the Cowboys are getting, by the way.
Marsh.
Yeah.
Marsh,
Awesome.
no more guessing, no more. We're taking a shot in the dark. It's pretty much official. Dan Enos will not be rehired. He will not be the offensive coordinator for University of Miami.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
You know what? That is, and no disrespect to Enos, but that is some great news. It had to be done. It's the offense simply. It's I don't know how you get worse from last year's offense. Something needs to be done, and it's obvious the players were not happy with Coach Enos, and it's obvious it wasn't working. And I think it's obviously the right move to do. So,
all right, so it's the right move.
Yeah.
Marsh, are you surprised that Manny went ahead and pulled the trigger on this?
I am a little surprised. I did not think he had the cojones to make that kind of move year one, but all of our bantering on Twitter must have gone to him. He's holding people accountable, but I 100% think it's the right move. And yes, I was very surprised to learn that Enos is gone.
So we asked Brad this question, in terms of 0 to 10, how optimistic are you moving into the next season? Brad was at a 5, so he was lukewarm, neither hot nor cold. Where are you at?
I got it. I'm probably agreeing with Brad. I'm probably at a 5 right now.
Choose a different number. I mean, you can be a 4 or a 6, but
4 or 6.
Be
You can't
something
say
other than
5.
5.
I'll do a 6.
6? You optimistic bitch.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Okay.
6?
Damn it.
You know why? Because he's going to hire an offense. He's going to hire a spread guy. I'd go with a 6 too.
Exactly.
And depending on who he hires, if he hires Kevin Johns, I'm at an 11. And if he hires your boy Lashley, I'm at a 10.5. And if he hires Applewhite, I'm back to a 2.
All right, hold on, Marsh. Let me ask you this. Over the offseason, you did the top 100 plays of all time in Miami Hurricanes lore. Did any plays from this year bump anyone?
Anyone from today's game?
I'm thinking maybe the Frierson interception.
The Frierson pick.
Just because of the effort involved.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like
Heck of an
15
effort.
Headley punts. One of those
Maybe that's
punts.
100. That's number 100. Yeah.
I don't know. Tate had a pretty cool 1-yard scramble. I was
Yeah, no, that was fun, wasn't it? Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was dope.
So some back chatter, and I was just on WVUM as well, and when we talked about the recruiting class, you say, hey, what are some of your negatives? I started right off the bat, and I said, cornerback recruiting, and we put that out there. Is there any surprise that there's some chatter about Mike Rump's job right now, and how do you feel about that?
I don't think it's coincidence at all. And when it came to Rump, I was, I'm 50-50 on him. I'm fine if he stays, but I'm fine if he goes. I think he's done a good job at developing, but He hasn't been able to plan some of those guys that are recruiting. We only have one cornerback signed right now. I think it's not going to hurt the program to go in a different direction. I think it's run its course, and I think I really just think it's time to get some fresh blood in there. I know that we literally just have a brand new offensive staff this past year, but I think it'll be good for the program to get some new faces in there. And sometimes you just need a change. And when you go 6-7 with 3 straight losses to end the year, change is the best way to go. So
you lost to 3 straight D2 schools.
Oh God.
Think about it.
Well,
yeah.
Duke's Division II. Get out of here.
Somebody has to.
Yeah.
FIU,
Yeah.
Duke, and Louisiana Tech.
I mean, if they didn't, what would we be talking about?
I personally, I think they should shut down the program.
I mean, it's more fun to go 6-7 than 8-4.
It is actually. It gives us more to talk about. More to
Let's
talk
be
about.
honest about
It
it.
allows
Yeah.
us to fire anybody we want.
Yeah.
Fire them all.
I mean,
they,
hell, dude,
they lost to FIU, Duke, and Louisiana Tech
I threw a poll out
in
today
football.
before the game. Who do you feel
In
more
football.
optimistic
In
about over the
football,
next
Marsh.
3 years down here? The Canes or the Dolphins? The Dolphins won with a ton of votes, 65%.
I'm not surprised.
I'm
That's
not
Over the
surprised.
next 3 years.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
not surprised.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
It is.
That dude Flores is pretty good.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good coach. All right, well, listen, Marsh, we love you, bro. Happy New Year. Follow him
Marsh
on
is
Twitter,
my younger
Hurricanes
version.
Marsh.
I'm like Marsh 20 years ago.
Absolutely. We all wish we were.
Without a social
Yeah.
media account, though.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Very,
You
very,
did it with
very true.
dial-up internet.
I was smart by me.
Bro,
Yeah,
happy
for
New
sure.
Year to you and your family, man. Be well, all right?
Hey, thanks guys for having me on. Happy New Year.
See you, dude.
You got it. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's an hour and a half of
What are you talking about?
oh Jesus.
All kinds of
an hour and
stuff
a
in
half.
here.
Oh, all kinds of stuff. I thought you said you wanted to leave.
Well, we got to talk some Star Wars for like 10
Yeah,
or
well,
15
no,
minutes.
yeah.
Oh, hold on.
What do you want to talk about? What are we going to bring
We
about?
talked about that. We talked about
you like if you like Miracle Whip, we can't be friends. I agree with you on that. That's
yeah.
a statement, dude. I never understood.
I don't like Miracle Whip.
Who?
I
That's
never
why we're
got it.
friends.
Planet Earth likes that garbage.
I will say that I did make a switch. I always grew up my family with Hellman's.
Mhm.
About 6 years ago, I made the switch to Duke's.
Duke's is the best by far.
Okay.
Dukes is that's
Oh, so
that's a flavorful.
You know what's
and
bad?
fantastic.
The
Yeah.
Hellman's with the olive oil in it? That's gross.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Oh,
yeah,
it's
the
disgusting.
Dukes is
no,
oof,
Duke's is great.
that's a good Southern.
Yeah.
Absolutely
No, it
mayonnaise.
is
Yeah.
Full of whatever.
Mayonnaise or
Um,
mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise, just because it's more fun to say it that way.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
That's how it's spelled, but most people don't say
No, they don't say it
mayonnaise.
that way.
No,
No.
they just say say
Mayonnaise.
mayonnaise.
I
I
usually
say
just say
mayo.
mayo.
Very strange.
But
say
that's the
mayo.
way it's spelled. My wife makes fun of me for
Yeah, I
this. too.
know.
She
We've
said,
had this
say it.
conversation.
She says, say it.
Say it.
I'm like,
Mayo.
mayonnaise.
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 It's there's an O in it. It's
You gotta
mayo.
Stop, you gotta stop talking over each other.
Okay. they're still at it.
Bob is very happy with today's broadcast, despite there's no transitions. Fuck you, Bob.
There's your transition.
Dude. I swear to God, him and his transitions.
That's because he doesn't think you could do that on YouTube.
I don't know what I can do on YouTube. I'm barely lucky that this is even on YouTube. Like seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my God, I was such
Just
a pain
be
in the
happy
ass
that it's on there.
deleting the last one and having to re-upload it because
Right. Well,
the drama involved.
Yeah, well, we got in
Good
trouble.
God. All right. So if you don't know, the first of all, if you're watching this on YouTube and if you're listening, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Just go to YouTube, search
That's good.
Orange Bowl Boys,
Subscribe to
that. We would appreciate it.
iTunes. Leave us reviews.
And leave us reviews on
Leave us
iTunes.
1-star
We
reviews
would
because we
love
talk
that.
over each other.
Absolutely, because we're awful at this.
Porter.
Yes.
Natty Ports.
Final results for the pick'ems. They're still going on, but obviously we know I'm going to lose. We're going to set up a time for me to go to Caneswear.
Yeah.
And do I'll greet you. I'm going to be a greeter for a little while.
Yeah.
Where I have to talk to you if you walk in.
It's awesome.
So you can really put me in. It is my hell come to life.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So you
it's,
should
it's
really
like
take
put,
advantage.
it's like putting him in a having go to an event.
Oh, I'm dreading it. I am
When he
dreading
goes-
the
when he
living
goes-
F out of it. Yeah.
What do you call those things?
Appearances, yes.
When he's got to go do an
Well,
appearance.
because
for the
normally
show.
I'm paid handsomely for that, and I will not be for this.
right.
I will be doing
It's
this
true.
out of my own time
So
for
that's
free,
even more.
and that's even more
Yeah.
horrifying to me.
It's promotion for us. Look at it that way.
Yes, we better sell a lot of fucking shirts.
Yeah. Well,
I know exactly where they are. I bought some more for the holidays.
We will go ahead and name this episode. I think we already know, right?
we did.
The floating
The
head.
floating head. Because if you've been watching on YouTube, Scoop wore all he wanted. There was too many lights on inside in the studio, so he had to shut some of the lights off, and he wore all black So all you see is his head and his knee, which according to folks has been shaking for an hour and a half.
My leg?
Yes.
100%.
Oh, now welcome to our world. Now you see behind the curtain.
Yeah.
You see like just how quirky he is. Like
Yeah.
he's been banging this pen for like 45 epic minutes, bro.
I know.
Click, 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 click,
Yeah.
click, 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 click,
He doesn't
click,
realize that the sound carries in the fucking microphone.
the whole time.
Whole time.
Look at him
Whole
laughing.
time. He doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't care.
He does not care.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
listen,
dude,
guys,
dude,
I mean,
I drive Steph nuts with my quirks, constant fidgeting.
I don't know where we leave things here. Like,
What do you mean? Look,
We'll
you'll,
do another episode for signing day. I believe the next real full hour-long episode we do is going to be the bandwagoners, right? Because there's nothing more to talk about.
Yeah,
with this shit.
bandwagoners.
I'm not doing another hour on this fucking program right now.
But
Okay.
I mean, come on.
people will realize,
Really?
listen, OBB will continue. It's just we're going to talk about what we need to talk about, and we're going to move on. We're
Yeah.
not going to do the Ask Reddits. We're going to slide over to the bandwagoners, which is going to be cool, but we're always going to be Orange Bowl boys. We're going to continue until we continue. So that's where we're at.
Where do you guys? I asked Marsh this. I asked Brad this. 1 out of 10. You're heading into the offseason, a season where we all were saying 10-2 with the worst. We lose to Clemson in the ACC title game, go to a bowl game. That's what we all basically were. That was the worst case scenario, right?
Okay.
Right. So what do you guys? 1 to 10. Where are you?
2. Easily. 2. Because you lost. We just said this. You lost to
That
2.
is-
Realistically, other than calling Duke a fictitious D2 school, I mean, because Duke has had our number recently, but we've lost to 2 Division II schools in 3 games. Now, at the end of last year with Mark Richt, I felt, okay, this is as bad as it gets. He walked away, and you're like, oh my goodness, it's happening. We just need an offense. Manny Diaz gets that, and you always kind of sense that Manny Diaz was going to be a head coach in waiting, so it looked like it checked all the boxes. Then you get Dan Enos. Now here we are. Fast forward. There's no offensive hire that's going to get me to the point where I was euphoric last year. So even firing Dan Enos, no matter who you get, I think we could be better off than what we were this year. You're back to the reality that here we are, University of Miami. You thought you were low last year. You were worse. Not only were you worse, you were way worse. Mark Richt would not have pulled this off. You know what? I'm at the point that I wish Mark Richt would have just succumbed to the pressure, stayed with the program, and just got an offensive coordinator, because he was actually a lot better for us than we were willing to admit. And that's where I'm at. So we went into a different direction, and I'm sick about it because you just didn't even score a point and lost to Division II school.
All right, so
A 2.
Roe goes 2. Scoop.
I'm going 6.
6.
Yeah.
That's how much optimism you have going into 2020.
Yeah, because I truly believe that the offense will change the dynamic of the team.
Okay.
So I'm
All
going
right.
to go with finding a guy. Now, depending on who they hire, I may drop that down, but I do believe that he's
What if
going
they
to hire
hire Paul Johnston?
9.
You're such a troll.
17. Blake James just tweets out,
Oh, God, no. Why did you tweet tonight?
please continue to support Manny Diaz and this staff.
Jesus Christ.
I still believe they are the ones to bring the U back to where it should be.
Does he not understand how Twitter works?
I'm not sure he does.
Did you?
Yeah,
why
you
would
don't
you
wanna-
tweet
you-
anything
Bro,
tonight?
you don't even want to see these.
Like, bro, you should be on radio Twitter silence for at least 72
you
hours.
should go away. There's no reason.
Yeah, you should be in the Bahamas right now, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you should not be talking at all. I'm gonna give it. You went 6. Roe went 2. I'm giving it as overly optimistic as I can be, a 4.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that, yes, I am praying to God that somehow just an offense changes the mentality of the 100 guys in the locker room, because I think their mentality is shit. I think it's crap. I don't think they care about winning. And yeah, so I think that the problems are much bigger than scheme and system, but I hope that I'm wrong. I hope we come out next year with the spread with the new OC and win 10 games, and I can run naked down University Drive. That will never happen, but just talking smack.
Because you're closer to Pine Island, by the way.
That's true.
So you
Yeah.
got a long way to
I'll
go.
do Nob Hill after midnight. All right, how about that? But yeah, so I guess a 4. But what an utterly disappointing season, just
Big
on
time.
every single level. Thinking of where we were at the Hilton Bonnet Creek before the Gators game, and just mentality, all the fans, and where we ended up just the day after Christmas. is sad and depressing. And yeah, like Canes, if you're listening to this, like anyone in any BOT, anyone at Hex Center, you guys are losing a fan base. You need to do something.
Yep. And you can't take shots at Scoop,
No.
who wants to spend precious time with his daughter that he can never get back. When year after year after year, this is the product. I don't get mad at fans for that. I would never get mad at fans for that. I don't prioritize them more than the person that goes up to every game. For those that go and support and go every single game, God bless you. If that's your right, that's your prerogative. But it's not better. It's not worse. It's just different. And you know what? I'm in the same boat sometimes. Do you think I would, in knowing what I know about what happened to today's game, do you think I would have watched that game or went out back and thrown and had a catch?
Oh,
with my
we
son?
knew what was going to happen.
And we all picked it.
I told you.
We all did. We all did.
I
We all
just
listen to
know
me.
exactly what was going to
Go
happen.
back and listen to last
I know.
episode too. They're
I
like,
know.
as soon as I saw it on the sheet, and I was like, Louisiana Tech. We spent 0.3 nanoseconds debating who to pick on that game. We blew over it like it was just some blurb in the atmosphere. We were like, Louisiana Tech, Louisiana Tech, Louisiana Tech. What's the next game? Okay, but like we didn't even pay 2 seconds to that thing.
No.
And that just goes to show you where we are, and that's why I'm at a 2.
So today's episode
Give me an offensive coordinator.
Is
Dude, do
was
you
it
guys
floating head?
know how great today is?
I know it's
We're getting a new
I know it's
offensive
a good-
coordinator.
He's
It
just
is.
saying right now we haven't made that
Yeah.
coordinator hire yet.
We have not.
No, I don't care.
And
So
I don't
until
think
we
that-
do, we have we
Let me tell you this.
Oh boy.
He can't, whoever it is,
Uh-huh.
he statistically can't be worse than Nino's.
You can't?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep.
2019 is over, boys and girls. As always, go Canes!
Yes.
That's another episode in the books. The Orange Bowl Boys are brought to you by Ed Morse. Make sure your next vehicle is backed by Morse. Visit edmorse.com.
Your takes.
All right. So the pod's done. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Star
Rise of
Wars Rise of Skywalker, stop listening because this is going to be all the goddamn spoilers. All right,
Yes.
so I've seen it. You've seen it.
Yes.
I thought it was fine. I have a major issue with it.
Talk to me.
My major issue is that they decided they brought Palpatine back. They invented a bloodline and a character coming back just to be able to kind of finish up the 9 movies. And it was complete BS because there was no reference to him in The Force Awakens, nothing in The Last Jedi, and then I mean, except for his voice at the very end, but or whatever it was. But yeah, I have an issue with that, bro.
Okay. Do you want me to go?
Please, you go.
It's not uncommon to Star Wars people who followed it in at least the comics or some of the other things, because Darth Maul's story too, even though
Yeah.
he was chopped in half, he regained legs and blah, 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 blah. Sith have this away. It's kind of this occultish thing to come back. My question is to you, what choice did he have when Rian Johnson, that extraordinary
Yeah.
director, what did he do with Snoke? He killed him.
Well,
So who else was left to be the bad guy?
but here's the thing. Apparently, up until JJ took over, because the last guy, the original guy that was supposed to do the movie, it was not going to be Palpatine. He had nothing to do with the plot of the last movie.
Mhm.
Kathleen Kennedy and JJ Abrams, he brought this to the table late. Hey, what if Palpatine's the guy? And so they just created this out of nothing. I have no issue with being Palpatine, but there had to have been something in The Force Awakens that lets you know, because Snoke is already dead.
Well, that was my thing, because it was Snoke who was the guy,
Right.
and this is like, oh, who's Snoke? Who's
Mhm.
Snoke? Who's Snoke? Ryan killed him. He killed him off. So what choices did J.J. Abrams have? He didn't even have an option to, like, his bad guys killed. He was killed.
But how did
So
they
who-
not
you
know? How
can't
did they not
introduce-
know? But how did they not know with the money they spent? How do they not know with episode 7 what the end of episode 9 was going to be.
Because that's what happens when you get some guy who directs Breaking
Oh.
Bad to come in here and get his own plot. He goes, let me kill him in this one. So they don't talk. And you have
JJ
this
did episode 7.
No, or
JJ
8.
did episode
8 is when he died.
No,
You're
he
right.
did
You're right.
Force
No, he did
Awakens.
7 and 9.
He
You're
did
right.
7 and 9.
You're right.
So then
he killed him in 8.
Right. He could have laid the foundation in 7, and he didn't.
He did. He brought in Snoke to 7. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
He had Snoke.
But the Palpatine didn't even exist.
Because you killed him in 8.
Because you killed him in goddamn 4, whatever, in Return of the Jedi. He fell down the thing forever. He cut in half, boom, gone, dead.
The guy that he was creating, creating to be the bad guy in 7, in Snoke, got killed prematurely, and nobody saw that coming in 8.
All right.
Now you go into 9. Who can be your bad guy?
Let's deal with the more important issue here, okay? When does Disney Plus launch the series that is starred by Baby Yoda and that new little Baba motherfucking thing that
Tonight at 12.
reset C-3PO's brain?
Tonight at 12.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah. I want a series with him.
Babu.
Yeah, I like Babu. Babu Frick is up. Babu Frick and Baby Yoda. Come on. That's next year's Christmas tandem. Are you kidding me? They take over the universe.
You know who stole the show?
That's more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard.
You know who stole the show? Babu Frick and 3PO. 3PO was really enjoyable. This was the best 3PO. 3PO was funny. He's always been an annoying character.
3PO?
But his last name's 3PO.
And also, what's her name? Carrie Russell.
Yeah,
was great with friggin' you don't even realize who she was until she was just her eyes.
I took my wife and then I watched it with my dad, which was special for me. But as soon as it popped, my wife immediately, that's Carrie Russell. I'm like, I don't even know who that's Carrie Russell. She just saw her eyes. She knew it was Carrie Russell.
The reality is, after 40 years
It's
and
over.
9 movies, they weren't going to satisfy everybody.
Nope.
And I will say my biggest issue with this movie was I thought it should have been 3.5 hours. It should have been The Irishman because there was that much stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, they
It was
jumped
fast paced.
in the first 10 minutes. They went to like 5 different planets
And a couple new ones.
Yes, exactly.
Exegol was the brand new planet. Like even like me, like I know a lot of the Star Wars universe. I'm not like some, but like I know where certain things lay in the Star Wars universe. I'm like, what's Exegol?
And apparently the first cut was 4 hours.
Yeah.
The first cut
name
was
me all
4
the
hours.
planets in these.
Oh,
in this.
dude, no, you can't.
It starts off with Mustafar. Exegol's a fake planet. They show Tatooine. No, did they show Tatooine? Yes, they go back to the end of Tatooine.
Yes.
They go to Endor at one point.
Oh, now let me ask you this
Coruscant.
question.
They go to a lot of planets.
When she goes back to Tatooine at the very end,
yes,
to where it all started,
exactly.
There's something that was missing in that scene.
What?
The 2 headstones.
The 2 headstones.
He put up 2 headstones in
for Aunt Beru and Uncle Ben.
That you saw, I think, in
Uncle
either
Owen.
Jedi. I think in Jedi you saw them.
Yeah.
2 headstones, and those headstones aren't there.
Yeah, but what did you see? I like some people
Probably because ISIS got rid of them.
But what do you think about the last?
ISIS lived in the freaking settlement for the last couple years.
Speaking of ISIS,
in real life,
we're gonna right when we're about to close this. I want to go ahead and talk to you about a
Tanisha,
concept. But what did you think about her saying when they asked, "What's your name? What's your full name?" And she says Skywalker. Did you like that?
I didn't like that.
I liked it.
Did you?
Yes.
I just had issues with the fact that Palpatine's son had what was no Force awareness whatsoever, good or bad.
I agree with that.
The generation. I just didn't like the way that whole thing came together.
I agree with that.
And I have an issue with the fact that they didn't let Finn tell her what the hell he wanted to tell her.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
that's the
that
Disney
I'm in love
Plus.
with you, or is it that because I'm Force sensitive?
That's the Disney Plus thing, because now you can figure out that you could definitely have a series.
Force sensitive?
Yeah, that means that they're
don't
capable,
try, Scoop.
Yeah,
don't try. Just don't even try.
They're capable of being Jedi. So
don't try.
Is he Force sensitive?
Yes.
So does she win the whole game?
Yes, she wins the whole game.
Yeah.
She calls checkmate.
Yeah.
She wins.
She wins the whole thing.
She ends up being. And then you send me what you send me. What did you send me?
Well, you know what?
What did you send me?
I didn't search for it. It popped up on my timeline.
Of course it did, because that's what Twitter prioritizes. First of all, and I got a problem with you, Twitter. But what did you send me?
Well, I sent you some feminist people that have a problem with Rey being the person she is. They thought that she was suppressed and she was beaten or something, and she was mad because she had to fight people, and
they were mad that it was a man
that
had to like help. Yeah, feminine. Let me explain something to you. At the end of the story, she ends up being the strongest Jedi that the whole Star Wars universe ever knew, because all the Jedi like lent their power to her, which by default makes her the strongest Jedi ever who brought balance to the Force. And they still have a problem.
Of course they got a problem.
Of course they do.
Of course they do.
Now,
They got a problem if you spell the name with an IE instead of a Y. I don't understand how she, who like just showed up however long ago, ends up being the main person of the entire series 40 years later.
Because at the end of it, she ends up being a jettison granddaughter of the worst, most powerful Sith, which is the evil side. That's his granddaughter.
Yeah, but
and you didn't know that.
But they just created that shit out of fucking.
Of course they did.
Thin air.
Of course they did.
I still love
granddaughter
that.
Hal. Granddaughter Hal.
Because
he,
you know who they
he had a son. He had a son who had her.
You know they have a hypothesis.
Is that the guy?
His son had no force.
The wrinkly face.
Nothing.
The wrinkly face guy. You've seen him.
Palpatine.
That's the first. That's the grandfather.
That's the grandfather.
I saw that guy.
Of Rey.
Yeah.
He was in
Jedi.
He's in.
He died in Jedi.
Yeah, he died in Jedi. He was in Empire as well.
Darth Vader killed him in Jedi.
Who was the son?
Who's
his son? Is no one you've ever heard of. He
course
just
not.
he never became a Jedi or just a normal person.
Granddaughter.
It skipped the fucking generation.
Gotcha.
That's they want you to believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
They say if you want to have a good idea who the grandmother was, because that's my next question.
Yeah.
Who did he not?
Yeah, who was Palpatine banging?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They
in
said,
the floor of the Senate.
In this, well, no, but in this, you're right, because if you look in a Senate pod, there's always a female with him, a bald female that's with him. So maybe they knocked.
Yeah, it's probably a little like congressional page or something.
Yeah.
Let me.
His version of Monica Lewinsky.
1,000%. That's not intentional.
Not have sexual
not
relationships.
It's not intentional. You people just think this stuff.
All right, so I will say this though: it is tomorrow when this drops. Final episode of The Mandalorian.
Yep. Well, right now I'm excited.
Oh, yeah, actually, we're gonna get out of here in like 2 hours. No,
2 hours.
3 a.m. West Coast.
Oh, it doesn't.
It's
midnight West
final
Coast.
ever or final for the season.
Final for the season.
They've already said that they're and that last
the Mandalorian
episode,
is that part of this last Skywalker?
No, it happens right after Jedi.
Yeah, this happens about 10 years after Jedi.
But there were some Easter eggs from the Mandalorian in this one. One being
with him healing,
with the Force healing, because that was never seen. We've never seen that in Star Wars until Baby Yoda does it. Which, by the way, Baby Yoda choking out your girl who bites her lip. He was choking her out.
Yes,
it was so awesome. He's like,
so does she bite her lip in the movie?
Well, maybe I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I've never noticed it.
You don't pay attention.
I don't notice her that way. I'm sorry. So, anyways, they did that.
That is the best gift. That is the best gift in the history of gifts.
Yes, and then the Razor Crest, which is ship in Mando, was reported seen in all the ships throwing out, and then I was good. I'm a big the Rebels
Baby
fan.
Yoda choked her out.
Yeah, he
killed her.
He does that thing like Darth Vader. He could choke you from across the room. And they're arm wrestling, and the baby is like looking like, "Why are you hurting my dad?" And he's like literally choking her. Dude. He's like, he gets mad and this face on
Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is going to unleash fucking hell in Episode 8.
Oh yeah,
unleash it's going to be
he's
Kurt
in the
Russell from
Mandalorian?
Tombstone. Hell's coming with me. Yeah. That's Baby Yoda in Episode 8 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
it's all coming to an end. He's gonna clean fucking house.
So I can watch The Mandalorian. Just stand alone.
Stand alone. You're fine.
Yeah, because you got Disney Plus for the girls.
Sure.
Yeah, dive in that. It's awesome. Yeah,
it's fun.
It's awesome series.
Mandalorian's
totally and you don't need to know anything.
And my
about
favorite episodes. And my favorite episodes are 3 and the last one in the same. And I didn't know this until after, but it was
both. By what's her name? That's doing the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I think it's Deborah Chow.
She's doing the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Fantastic at this. She is fantastic. She had I like the last episode too.
Yeah.
But or 2 episodes ago, but this last episode in 3, where if you ask me what my favorite ones, I would say it would be 3 and 7. She directed both.
I'm assuming Favreau's doing 8.
Probably,
most likely. But it's been
fun.
fun.
So back to Farver Beans. So back to I put this out there, like the critics are having a hard time with it.
Yes.
Right? It's the second
but
lowest critic rating.
You knew they would.
And you want to know why? Because
it's impossible to meet the bar.
Because you're either going to upset the fans, the hardcore fans, or you're going to get the critics. And the critics, if you pay attention to what they're upset about, just the 2-second kiss at the end didn't give enough representation.
Oh God, just
I mean, come on. Like,
you know what they did do? How about the
that was banned in Singapore.
They named a Jedi after the kid that took out the shooter at that at the college, which was really, really cool.
Yeah, so they wrote a letter to the family and real life showed heroism, and they're like, listen, we put him officially into Star Wars canon.
The Star Wars canon. He's a Jedi and a historian.
Name and his
Riley something.
Yeah, so that was cool. I really enjoyed the movie. I just there's so many things that were to the fan base. Like, the part where Luke just brings the X-Wing out of the water?
Yes.
That was significant because if you go back to Return of the Jedi, he couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. Yoda had to do it for him. So now that he finally gets the X-Wing out of it and he took a big shit on Ryan Johnson because in the beginning of the movie, Ray hands it in 8, hands him, and he throws the lightsaber. And to fans like us, like, you don't throw your lightsaber, bro. Like, that is like your thing. So what is the first thing he does in this one? He catches it as she's trying to destroy it and goes, no, man, you need to take better care of this weapon. And that was like, yeah, we were all happy about that.
Also, the very end, you see the ghosts of Leia and Luke together.
Yeah.
They needed to have everyone else. They needed to have Vader. They needed to have Yoda. They needed to have Ben Kenobi. They needed to have
all
that,
those voices. All those voices.
I know, all the voices was pretty cool.
All the voices were there. So
all the voices were there. Even
they had
some
Yoda. Some of the voices that I know, they had Yoda. They had both Obi-Wan Kenobis.
Yes,
they had the modern one and then the old one. They had Hayden Christensen's character as Vader. He said, which I laughed. He goes, his line was, bring balance to the Force like I did. Hello, the Emperor lived, bro. Like, you didn't bring.
We didn't know that, but we didn't know that the Emperor lived.
But now he does.
Now he does. Yes.
So, and then they had some tributes to like the Clone Wars series. They had one of the Rebels. They had Freddie Prinze Jr. who does the voice acting.
Well, the new episode of the new season of the Clone Wars is about to drop. I think season 8, right?
I don't know. I'm watching it. Yeah. So Rebels. They had the show. And this is what excited me from JJ's perspective. Like, right next to the Millennium Falcon was the ship, the Ghost. Well, in the show Rebels, that is their ship. So he actually imported the ship from the cartoon into it. So it was cool, and they paid homage to it. So like I was a big fan. I liked so many little subtleties that they did that paid tributes, and like you see the parallels. The fact that he goes back to where Rey goes back to where it all started and says she's a Skywalker, which by the way was another big middle finger to Ryan Johnson's plot, because in Ryan Johnson's world, everybody can be the Jedi. Look at you, little kid with the broom.
Right. Yeah.
And at the end, they don't want the inclusiveness. They don't want that. No. And at the end, she's like, yeah, she just says, no, I'm a Skywalker.
It's kind of funny though, when you look back at the whole thing as a whole, and you realize at the beginning of episode number 4, Luke has been given to his aunt uncle. They put him on Tatooine so that the dark side can't find them. However, he kept the bloodline name Skywalker. And it's like, how the hell could Palpatine not have known like where the fuck he was? Like,
at least Rey was smarter about it. She's like, I don't know what my last name is. She's on a desert planet too, Jakku.
In hindsight, like, oh yeah, no, that really doesn't work. Yeah, like he absolutely would have been.
At least Rey's like, because early in the movie, like, what's your name? What's your full name? She's like, it's just Rey.
Yeah, they would have found him before the Jawas in the droid deal.
Yeah, they put that out. Of course,
I know. Oh God,
that's so bad. Like the fact that that's what I'm saying. It was ultimate fan service. I think he was absolutely right when they interviewed him. They're like, the critics are right and the fans are right. You weren't going to please everybody.
I'll be honest. I thought the final movie was fine. I'd probably put it at about 5. From 1 to 9 in mine, or 1 to 11 in mine. I probably put it around 5 or 6.
Okay,
but I'm very excited for the.
See, you're not far off from me, though.
No, but I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm very excited though, moving forward for the Ben Kenobi series, for the Mandalorian season 2, for these one-off series and origin stories, because we're not going to see any more. 3-movie series anymore.
You don't know.
At least with this whole.
But Disney
deal.
Plus has been magical because it's going to continue the universe.
But doing all these different things, there's so many different avenues for them to go down, different timelines for them to go down. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, listen, it was a satisfactory ending to 40 years worth of movie making. Especially 40 years that were spread out over so long, with different producers in charge and different people calling the shots. Not like Marvel, where it was kind of a stream of consciousness of one guy kind of making sure it all fit together.
And the one person who has been the constant, and he had a cameo because he was at the bartender, John Williams, who's the legendary composer.
Yep.
Can we at least say him throughout the series? Has been,
the one constant. Yep.
My daughter comes out.
And that's the biggest difference in The Mandalorian that you notice, is that his music isn't scored in it.
Yeah. Well, like Rogue One didn't necessarily have it. Some of the spin-offs haven't, but as far as the major and he's already admittedly said that this is his last one.
Yep.
So my daughter comes out to the back and I can pipe in the music, and she's like, she comes out in the back. She's like, Dad, she tried to talk to me and she stops 2 seconds. She goes, Dad, are you listening to Star Wars music back here? And I'm like, I am.
Yeah, you are. Yes, absolutely.
Imperial
March, motherfucker. Goddamn, yes, I love it.
Yeah, so it's just so magical. The score. God. I don't think the movie would have been the movie without his score. That's how He's a maestro. It is such a good score. He nails it in this one as too. Even like when he's lifting, Luke is lifting the X-Wing out of that, like Yoda's theme is playing in the background. It was a nice touch. He knew it just as well.
Let's
as anybody.
just hope that our new Canes OC is in touch with the Force.
Yes.
God damn.
Yes.
Please be in touch with the Force.
You know
bro.
what? I'll be honest here. I want a Sith Dark Lord calling my plays. You know, I don't need no Padawan Jedi shit. I need a set. I need a Darth Maul. Let's go.
All right, guys. We're out.
Yes.
Happy New Year. Been awesome, and we will talk to you guys for episode 65 at some point in the near future.
So Sante Cinco.
All right. Peace out, people. Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye, Felicia. Bye, motherfuckers.